it's a new day and new all-time highs. What a perfect way to start off the new year. Welcome to 2021, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying it so far. It's been fantastic for Bitcoin and it's going to be fantastic for all of us. Thank you so much for joining me. My name, of course, is Rocky Outcrop, and we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Chainlink, Ethereum, and Tezos into this episode this evening. But we're actually going to as well chill out and enjoy the new year. This is celebrating the year of the first year of the channel and everything else. So we're going to have a drink together, and I've even got a spinny wheel thing set up, and we'll have some guest on the show later on. So that's all good. Let me just the intro clip. And welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. The reason why I'm having to look all over the place to try and see the screen is because my vision is cluttered up with so many gosh darn bottles. We've got this bottle here. We've got this bottle here. And just in case any of you actually managed to make me drink any of this one, I've also got a bit of juice just to clear out the old guttering there to make it easier to think afterwards. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me. We're going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin charts, and I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine to chill out and it's all that good stuff. Hit that like button if you're just tuning in, and let me know if you are also planning on having a drink here for the drinking episode that we were planning during the week, and what you got to drink. I'll just show you what I've got here. It's a bottle of wine that I quite like. It's inexpensive and tasty. Yeah, cool. Thanks so much for joining me. Right, so hey, I'll show you what I've got on my spinning wheel in a second for a laugh. And then I'll say hello to everybody that's joining me so far in the live chat and everything else as well. So let me just get the spinning wheel thing. How do I get it over here? So I have to go over to this and hit spin wheel. Did that work? No, that didn't work. Let me just then make it so it's visible. Is it visible? Yeah, okay, cool. So you can see there's a few different options here. Just the white one, starting with that, you can see it says skip. The orange one is neck, so I'd have to neck the whole glass of wine. The next one after that is sip, so that would be an easy enough one to get. The red one there is shot, and I was just going to use the lid of that bottle of vodka to take shots if anybody finds me landing on that one. And then this purple one here is a curious one. Well, I just thought I'd stick that in to kind of balance out the skip option and make it so that I have to add a shot of vodka to whatever wine I've got remaining and then drink that. I suppose thereafter, if two people did it and the V to W happens, then I get a sip afterwards, then I'll have to taste it, and maybe I'll just want to get it over with. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that'll be a good laugh, and I think the way that I'll run it is, if you want me to spin the wheel, then any donation that you stick in through OneUp coin, if you look in the description down below, you'll see there's a link there for donating through OneUp coin, and if you do that, then you will get, of course, I'll spin the wheel. I'll just actually grab that link myself. So let me see here. These are for crypto donations, just to encourage people to do the crypto donations thing for some fun, since we are a crypto technical analysis channel after all. I'll stick that in the chat there so everybody can see it, and I'll stick this pin that message up atop instead. So yeah, cool. Excellent stuff. Right, I'll get this big old wheel off the screen here and type back over to the charts so you can take a look at things. But let's just do a practice run, actually, see what would have happened, in fact, just for a laugh. So let's spin the wheel. Then I'd have to drink the whole glass of wine. Well, that's not happened yet, so that's cool. I'll just leave that for somebody else to give a shot later on. Cool, so what have we got here on the go? Let's just kind of get the technical analysis over with before I get inebriated. Don't actually know how long I'll stay on for tonight. It depends, of course. It is New Year's Day after all, and people might already be sloshed themselves and not able to tune in, or perhaps celebrating with friends and family. But if we get a little audience on the go here, then I'll stick around and get progressively more drunk just to celebrate. What we're celebrating, by the way, if you're just joining us, is of course the first year of the channel having been completed. So cool. Anyway, what we were looking at in the recent past with regards to Bitcoin was this wedge that we see on the chart over here. As you can see, it's a rising wedge, and of course in this recent time frame we've obviously been filling it out top to bottom there. In fact, as well, we've had these all-time highs come in today, and let's just kind of just check for that number, 29,620. The lows so far today have been down there at 28,716, and you can see that that currently straddles the distance between where the top line here of this smaller term time frame Fibonacci retracement and the 236 come in at. So that 236 is living in there at 28,736, drawn in from the lows that we had over there on the 27th of December on this red doji candle, which is, you know, kind of, you know, a generous enough place to start in terms of like looking for shorting entries, as opposed to, you know, drawing in from somewhere further down here. If I did it from the last sort of more realistic low in the 21st of December on this sort of chart just here, then you see that the 236 actually comes in all the way down at 27,815. So anyway, stick that back where it was and jump down the time frame so we can see how this price action has been going along inside this wedge. Now, when we drew it in the first instance, we did say that we thought it was obviously a little bit kind of premature with regards to the lack of touches towards the downside, and maybe, you know, we've matured in a sense along the way here. We have had this kind of opportunity to call it faking out. Indeed, that happened over here as well on the 31st, you know, just yesterday. Last year though, when we went down to where now we find the 50% level at that 27,731, and that's going to be something to look to just in the meantime, really just going forwards here with this one. If we want to continue into 2021, just you know, in terms of the first week of it, or the first month of it perhaps, what we want to see happening is, of course, this continue to go towards the top side without actually taking out these targets here. The first one at 27,700 or so, you know, closers down below that on that 4-hour time frame are taking you past this area here. We had this previous closes on the 30th of December, and breaks the structure kind of a little bit up here, and you're looking at that stage, of course, and asking questions about the measured move and the 618 area coming in there at the low 27,000s, perhaps 27,200 up to 27,270 or so, where you would be then taking out the wicks of those areas. But then, of course, the real sort of structural questions do come into to play when you get down towards this 26,400, let's say, where we have this blue horizontal line lining up here. As you can see, the numbers of note kind of coming in here on the right hand side anytime we have the horizontal drawn on the charts, and that's the area to be staying above, because that's our last significant low, really. Of course, that extends really down towards 26,000 flat, and then it depends if you're looking at wicks and whatever, you know, that's why it comes into play when we're talking about getting a couple of closes and opens and whatever down there. Then maybe you're looking at a slightly different story, and of course over to a broader term Fibonacci retracement perhaps to find your next target. And of course, a lot of people would argue then that there's overall, in terms of the upward trend, that everything's more or less dandy so long as we stay above the 236. And this particular Fibonacci, which is you know, the bigger, fatter one here going all the way over to the right, that shows us the levels where from the lows in where was it, the lows, yeah, the 2018 December lows up towards our current highs, you know, encapsulating everything from that low after the previous all-time high all the way up to where we are now. I think I could check in that in a second. Put my prices up above the price action there, right on the top, and then that doesn't come in until you're down there at 23,500, which is where the 1618 lines up. That's, you know, just shy of 23,500, a little bit below that at 1618 of this Fibonacci that we're talking about here, where, you know, so long as we're staying above 28,742, then we're just in fake out territory from any sort of wedge type movement here. And the story in terms of, you know, the going towards the top side remains in place rather securely, and then we can look up towards the targets that we've already had in mind in the recent past with regards to 31,500, etc. But let me just stick another one of these in here. I know it gets messy, doesn't it? Going down towards the downside, just so we can see then beyond these targets. This is up from the the high up here on the 27th of December down to the low that we had on the 28th of December. That range just before we came up, showing the start of the wedge, and of course is the same sort of, the Fibonacci retracement here is the same size as the measured move that you'd be taking if we were to be breaking towards the top side. Whoop, if I could just grab that. In fact, then that would make for a handy demonstration in around about this time frame here, and get all this complicated stuff out of the way before I get tipsy do that. And you can see then that the measured move off that takes us up, right up towards the 2618, and that brings us in at a target of 32 grand. And that's what you'd be looking at. You know, of course, that's going for the full whack measured move, and then taking in this Fibonacci 2.618 target as your area. What we were talking about yesterday and stuff like that still stays in place, and 31,500 is going to be a profit taking target probably for a bunch of people for various other reasons along the way there anyway, and that lines up more or less with where you would get if you had the 60% sort of textbook Bulkowski textbook move off the back of this pattern, breaking it towards the top side and just continuing on with what has been up till now a parabolic trend towards the top side. That's the logarithmic chart. I could take it off logarithmic if you want to see how it all lines up. It's not a massive difference really there between them. Right, cool, nice one. So in terms of the overall look of the thing, so that's really going to do for the Bitcoin technical analysis in terms of what we're looking at just now. We've pointed out a few key things. I did skirt past things fairly quickly, but fake out zone on this measured move of this, you know, before you'd really start looking for the guts of the measure move to come in, is at the 236 there, in around about 28,742. If we do move down below the 28,000 area, then you know there's quite a bit of room there going down towards the 382 just to pull back again. The 50% target comes in there at 27,733 or so. Then you're looking at the 618, which of course takes you for the full measured move off the back of this wedge towards the downside. Asking questions about structure. If we did move past that, then of course the target is actually coming in at 26,391. Taking those targets out, then actually you can ultimately look down towards the 1618 here, towards where we had our previous structure. That would take you all the way down to 23,405. But failing doing a negative move, then a move towards the top side would take you in first off towards the sort of 31,500 area if you're going for a 60% Bulkowski measured move off the back of the wedge. And indeed, if you're looking up towards this, and you know, looking at this perhaps as well, the intermediary price targets such as the 2.272 in here on this Fibonacci retracement as well, and that lines up perfectly with this measured move, which is of no real surprise given the way that the Fibonacci we've drawn in here goes at the bottom of that wedge. And that's, you know, your precise technical analysis for right now. Looking beyond those targets really is like you know, fair play if you want to, but that's decent percentage moves and everything else for taking your profits. If you did want to look beyond it and you're looking towards where we could be going during the period of this sort of year or month, actually, say let's say everything goes really well this month, the targets could be 34,500 first, you know, your next target past this previous point of 32,000 we already mentioned, and then on the way up towards 37,000. And of course we've got various other things, but 37,500 being that one from that video title that we had a while ago, and it lines up with some stuff we've already covered on the show. If you didn't see those episodes, be sure to like and subscribe. Now what we're going to do just here in a second is ratchet this up a little bit towards the higher time frames and just kind of say how things have been looking for the last wee while. You know, this is the monthly time frame. Let me zoom in a wee bit here. This is a monthly time frame. Everything's been going absolutely splendiferously. Could there be some sort of pullback along the lines here where we end up with a wick, you know, below this candle? And just looking back in the past, well, it's not impossible for us to have candles that just simply don't have a wick on the bottom side, as you can see, for instance, over here and whatever else. It's just more often than not you do, and right now we've not seen any sorts of real pullback. So is there any sort of danger towards the lower side in this area for the meantime? And we know that while we're in a really positive bullish move towards the top side, that it's always worth taking a look at where the Bollinger Band comes in, for instance. And we can see over here that it's coming in there at 24,742, which would be a decent enough wick down the way. Of course, if the body does go towards the top side, all these targets get increasingly higher until, you know, you probably would have to come to some sort of reasonable acceptance that there probably could be a pullback down towards the sort of 26,500 area that we talked about earlier on with regards to other targets as well. And there's one other thing I suppose that I could like to talk about really just now, and that's to just dive on up towards a yearly chart. Let's go to the 12-month chart here, and bring up an older chart. The Bitstamp one, for instance, got a bit more of those months, 12 months-ness on there. And this is logarithmic. Let me take off logarithmic and show you the Cobra rising instead. Let's just draw that on there instead. What you have here is a sort of tail area, and then it comes. My old notes getting in the way of us having a wee bit of fun. Then it comes up towards the top side. Then of course we've got our head area in here, and this is of course the Cobra rising towards the top side, looking very, 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 very good as overall pattern. Of course, that's the type of thing that would happily come up and give you a big old bite in the legs and say, why you didn't see me? How could you not notice me? You wouldn't have even noticed unless I came up and bit you on the legs. Well, that's what's happened overall, and we've got this overall upward movement, and that's lovely. So what's there to be learned by looking at the yearly chart, other than that, like, this is ultra FOMO inducing from in terms of an investment opportunity for people? Not much, but it's fun to be here looking at how we've got a new candle just starting now, and it's green today, and it's all-time highs as well, the highest it's ever been. So there we go, setting records left, right and center. We'll just can focus on the smaller time frames now, I suppose, as I tune in and see who's in the chat box out and how everybody is getting along. I've just dived down towards the 15-minute time frame here to put a bit of smaller time stuff on the screen and take a look at stuff that you could look at as well, extrapolate these sorts of ideas out towards the higher time frames as well. So there's lessons to be had, I suppose. There's these 2 points towards the downside we do see in the stochastics here with these 2 lows, that there is of course this sort of bullish divergence. We're not seeing that on the RSI as that slope towards the downside. Overall then actually as well, we've come in at this point here and done 2 things. One, we've ticked off the neutral line, which does of course give you a chance of getting further continuation towards the top side, and that'd be nice to see. But overall at the same time we've done this well, we've not actually come in higher than our previous highs so far yet. So structurally we haven't really changed anything, and what we have here is a slightly higher high compared to over here in the RSI. So this could of course be hidden bearish divergence, you know, so look out, you know, it's a 15-minute time frame, for crying out loud, really. You know, I am just trying to give lessons for bigger areas. The main thing I suppose to be looking at right now is those 2 lines there, that one and that one. That's the 200 simple period moving average. You know, we've obviously found support in at this point over here, and then this is the 50 simple period moving average, and that's showing us resistance. And of course this is coming in as well very close to our all-time highs, because we're just, you know, we're in sniffing distance of them anyway. If we go past that, then great, that's all gravy. Let's hope that we can move towards the top side and put this past this past behind us and below us and get some upward price action, of course. But you know, in the meantime, until such times as something changes, we're just in this structure, and the target off of it remains really as ever here at your previous high. So that'd be 29,600, and of course in the meantime we could easily see this dropping down towards 28,600 as well if it wants to just continue on the way. That would be taking out this previous low over here, which we did actually already do. In terms of these 2 lows, it's not like it looking like it's got anything positive about it. There's no hidden bullish divergence type of ideas or anything to be said about this, or bullish divergence ideas, sorry, regular classic bullish ones in there. I got confused for a second when I said hidden bullish divergence, because I was thinking about how you can't actually, you know, use this combination of an upward trend low with a downward trend low to be able to make some sort of actual argument based on trend direction to be able to say that. But in terms of just, like, you know, the movements there, what we've managed to do so far overall is come up above the neutral line on the RSI and stuff like that. If we do continue, that's good, but at the minute, in terms of the 15-minute time frame, seeing a pullback from this point would be you know, perfectly understandable. Looking at this stochastics, very useful in an oscillating movement like we have obviously got on the go here. And if we saw this tick around, then of course then it'd be nice to take in a couple of decent targets such as 29,000 flat and 28,737 in terms of this 15-minute time frame. What we come back and look at after we've had a drinky poos with our pals, checked in with the chat, and then taking a look at the other coins that we're going to look at. And as well, I'll be introducing my guest. I suppose maybe we should do that. When should we do that? Should I do that now-ish or so? What do you think? We should maybe do that. What do you think? We'll maybe introduce our guest onto the show here in a wee while, depending on, you know, how we're feeling about everything. Sippity sip sip. So Trade spotting. Oh look, that's the trade spottings there. Great, cool. Hey, hope everybody enjoyed their steak pies and all-time highs. Nice, it rhymes. I like it. Happy New Year. Yes, do check out the stablecoin XTZ. Stablecoin XTZ. Okay, we have had some movement on that. It's unless you were talking about the actual sort of stuff going on in the stablecoin stuff, like whatever. Anyway, hello, buonasera, yes, and it's good to see you too, Peter. Nice to have you here. Hi, Peter. The Mexican Kitchen, buenas noches a todos. Nice, thanks very much. Good night to everybody as well here. Hey, Mex. Hey, guys. Happy New Year, says Simal Gonçalves. Great to have you here, my friend. And everybody saying hello to each other. Isn't it magical? Happy New Year, everybody. And Tracebottom said, exclamation mark, liked, letting me know that he's hit like on the stream. Thank you so much. And everybody else who does that is of course a hero. How about I just take another couple of charts out of the way so that we can take, move on with the show, and I can do it all while I'm still perfectly sober, and then we'll see how, if the momentum in the stream picks up and I'll actually even achieve full drunkenness. I do have enough supplies here to be able to achieve full drunkenness, as you can see just there. Quick, but we don't have to go to the moon immediately. Right, cool. Anyway, nice one. Yes, you were being sarcastic. Yeah, well, okay, we will. So, what should we go straight on to looking at XTZ? Why not? Let's just bump it up the order and give it a wee look at today. Isn't it doing lovely? Isn't she lovely? Well, what she's done so far here has gone up as high as $2 and 1.5 cents there, so that's really great. Thanks so much, stablecoin Tezos. Yeah, what we've seen over, this is a 15-minute chart here, but the 24-hour chart, you can see that we've had in terms of this chunk here, it's quite sideways in terms of the price actually, in terms of where the VPVR would be throughout the day and whatever, the price has just been kind of hugging to it. Well, no, sorry, that's not true. Look at the volatility here with these wicks and the doji candles and everything else. So there's a lot of trading happening at the minute, but of course, look at that day's range as well, up as high as $2.13, down as low as $1.97. We're seeing 0.14 on the day, but of course we know that the actual trading range of the day is being 8.8%. So it's really the dark horse in terms of the cryptocurrency. It's not going to jump up anybody's noses on CoinMarketCap saying, "Oh, buy me, buy me. I've had this amazing thing." But in terms of trading this thing, you can totally get in and out with 5% moves dead happily and easily, and you have been able to over the last wee while with putting very little risk on the table. Are we getting to a point where we're actually going to have to do the whole proverbial shit or get off the pot with regards to this one? Do we have some life left in us in terms of this parallel channel idea? Not liking it on the 24-hour time frame, really, in terms of its population in there. Look at it here on the 4-hour time frame, get a bit more densely populated. Yeah, this is more like what I wanted to look at. And yeah, cool. So if we do see turnarounds at this point, then are our targets, well, not going to surprise anybody by saying that they're actually up at take out this zero here and move everything over, and you get our upward side target in at $2.16, 17 cents, something like that. The easy ones, of course, being the $2.10, and just trading a sort of 5% type range on it is obviously where it's going to keep you without putting too much risk on the table until it's not poker, until you have got past these areas. Now, looking past this area, what we're saying is sort of 215 closures above that do lead on to us going up towards the 230s and whatever else, but we know that the key area is going to be in there at 222, so just find it, I suppose, is always the way it seems to work out. And we're seeing that the 200 simple in the 4-hour time frame comes in there at 222 to 2222. Well, it doesn't actually, but it will, and it has done close enough. Well, let's just say that it does. It doesn't actually, but I'll just say it did. Then looking here, the 50 simple comes in there at 221. Let's call it 222, just to keep the party going with that one. So that's your upside target. It's breaking down past this point here. In terms of closes, is obviously going to be necessary. In terms of the wicks here, we've had some good movement towards the downside. Of course, again today with its lows of $1.97, giving people opportunity to get discounted Tezos constantly, which is handy while we're waiting for something to actually happen. So in terms of the broad scheme of things, obviously we've not had anything happen so far. This is the monthly candle. We're waiting to see if, though, we do get what we've seen in the last few months, where we've had, you know, look at these candles, just the bodies alone, in terms of accidentally drawing on the chart when you didn't mean to know, in terms of this move, that's 20%, you know, just on the body alone. And looking beyond that, we know that there's a whole chunk either side of these candles, so there's plenty of trading to be looking at over the next wee while. So stablecoin, good one. Yes, it's been like that for a wee while, and it would be nice if it got a good move up. Start with a 10% move towards the top side, take out that 222. Everybody will give a nice round of applause for doing so, and then if we watch the prices go up towards 260, you'll start getting a little touch of that whole FOMO coming in here again. Once again, what we've managed to do in last month's candle was, when we got that massive rejection towards the downside, as you can see there, we pushed back up and prevented it from being an engulfing candle, which is overall positive, and hopefully we can engulf this one towards the top side then and move in on up thereafter. 250 is going to be that key target for us, so if we do get a 10% move up and then it followed by another 10% move up, that would take you up towards that 250 target, and then you'd be able to sort of kind of, you know, look at things a little bit differently. In terms of the 4-hour candles, we can see that we have, you know, the opportunities are here for us to get crosses as we get a tightening and tightening of the moving averages, which is nice to see. Let's take out the 50 simple as a starting place, and it's the same chat as yesterday. Once we get past 205, it looks pretty good, you know, judiciously taking profits in there at this median line of this parallel channel, so let's call it 213 currently, is going to be, of course, you know, something that a lot of people find themselves doing. If we can get some closures up above there, we'll continue this sort of tentative upward trend that we're in at the minute. Obviously this could be argued as to be some sort of lower low here, but that's kind of, you know, that's I wouldn't even engage in that discussion overall. In terms of the down, even further down the way, we can see that, you know, we had the last time big candles we had coming in were quite a while ago, so, you know, this is obviously all telling us that things are tightening up. If we see here, there's chop territory on that downward trend. It's not looking like it's got much on the go. Yeah, getting into the point where we really can expect some volatility on the 4-hour on the DMI, taking out the neutral line here, come back down, retesting it. Now we've gone down just below it again. Can we actually push past it? Will we get rejected off of this and then continue towards the downside? If we did, then obviously that would be kind of sucky, but I'd be looking down towards 180 if that was the case. If we took out 195 on a sort of decent time frame basis, but that's not necessarily likely. Necessarily, that's not what I'm trading for. I'm just hoping to get things to go towards the top side, taking out that moving average again, and then moving up into the bullish control zone there after taking out these targets. But so long as we can take out this structural area of 220, really, you know, in terms of some decent time closures, as you can see, a 4-hour time frame closure above 217 even at the minute would give us another higher high overall, and that would be good to see, and to be able to push on up the way and take out what could conceivably be sort of any well, we'd probably be able to do that. We'd be able to move up without divergence. That'd be nice. Of course, there is divergence hanging out here waiting to happen if we don't do something, but cover those bridges whenever we burn them. At the minute, we're doing all right. Now, what is it? Yeah, what should I do? Should I move on to Chainlink just now, then bash onto Ethereum, and then take? Yeah. Let's just cover off everything then and do that. So Chainlink, you know, Chainlink, my friend, $12. Nice to see you here again. So if we just actually kind of let me zoom out a bit, we can see that we've got some key targets drawn in. If you were one of the magical crowd of people who benefited from watching yesterday's video, then you can see that it's operating right between the lines that we drew on here inside of our overall pattern, which is cool. We're taking out the moving averages, moving towards the top side. Next target's up above us, going to have to be where that 200 simple is here, and that comes in there at 1262. The target after that comes in at 1330. If we do actually push beyond that, then targets up above start actually really kind of getting to the point where you're greedy when you look towards 1475. Looking down the way in between, we do know that there's an area to be aware of at 1430, and that would be, of course, where a lot of people would take profit at, between this area of flux, looking at the risk increasing beyond that point. Now, if we did actually move beyond all of this as well, there's the chance that we get another move towards the top side, and that takes us up towards 1650, looking out for a double top if we did actually have one with our previous area at 1636 on this one. That's all the positive case scenario, and that's based off the back of perhaps having a wedge here. Now, of course, this wedge has a bearish outcome for it as well. We can look down, that would take us down to lower lows, and we start looking at those sub $10 areas. In terms of the textbook area, what we need to look to is overall here at the $10.33 area where we have the 236, and we've been offered up very good buying points before. Now we know that there's a degree of liquidity issues at certain areas, you know, or whatever, that's led to this happenstance over here, and if something were to continue along those sorts of lines, then maybe we would find us coming down and even visiting targets such as down here at $7, like our good friend, one of the outcropticians, managed to achieve on Kraken, because Kraken is of course techno crypto slang for crap in exchange, and that's what goes on with that one, because it's got liquidity issues. So they got $7 chain link, and by the way, when I say crap, what I mean is truly gloriously marvelous. I mean, what an amazing trade that looks at. It's just that somebody with a larger account has to eat it, and as they accidentally fat finger some buttons or something, and it pushes it down into those zones. A wonderful trade that is, and they're already up so high at the minute. So $12 doing pretty good. Let's break it down a little bit more by looking at the 15-minute time frame and seeing this high that's coming here, acknowledging that we've come in with this high without divergence on the 15-minute time frame on the RSI. Let's acknowledge that. Nice one. Hopefully then, of course, that just leads to more exuberance towards the upper side, obviously, and the 15-minute time frame at the minute. That would be lovely to see, and it gives us the opportunity to go up and test these areas and maybe get that $13 move, giving people a nice 30% bonus on anyone that bought it $10 and up, of course. And this one, you know, there's the potential for us to come back into that zone without really doing any great damage. If we look towards the downside during this move, the MACD giving us that hidden bullish divergence right here as we ticked off support at that $11.70 area. Very good. Everybody happy, all good, very happy for me in the night. That's what we're going to look at here. That's what we're looking at for the next wee while in terms of 15-minute time frames and whatnot. The targets in terms of the larger time frames have already been kind of spelled out for us. We've looked at the downside and the top side and the justifications for getting to all of them, and we've had a wee eye on the oscillators as well. What I do want to see, and I've not mentioned it so far, is accompanying any move here, of course, commensurate volume with big volume moves that we've seen in the past. So if that could come up to where coincidentally this light line lies at with any given move and in either of these directions, that would of course be most convenient of it. Thank you very much, sir. Then over towards Ethereum, just so you know, this will be the last major coin that I look at until we get to the I'm going to come over and chat and bring on a special guest as well for a wee chit chat too. Robert wants to take a look at gold versus dollars. I've not looked at gold versus dollars for a wee while myself, so maybe I will maybe able to put that on in a wee bit. We've moved outside this zone. Here we are on Ethereum talking about this really all the chat that we've had with regards to the chain link pricing and the terminology and everything else that we're using there remains the same. And what we're looking at here is there's a good degree of potential for volatility on the DMI in this zone, as we have it coming all the way down on the ADX below 13, and we have obviously a negative cross here, and that's taken us outside of this move. But can we actually achieve anything in terms of moving beyond the fake out territory and taking out these wicks and whatever towards the downside? Movements down past enclosures below $720. You know, you're looking down towards $700 there after that, and this is where then of course you want to find your bounce. You know, you want to find your bounce if you're continuing this at the minute sort of downward movement at that 700 region. Otherwise, of course, there's a solid 80% chance, should we close a 4-hour candle or two below that the move would actually extend as far as the $677 area, offering up really interesting buys for people depending on how they want to take a perspective on this overall. Myself, I'm going to keep my eye on the charts and everything else and be aware of this area down as far here as 600 and sort of the $627 zone down towards 616, where of course would be a massive structural change on Ethereum. If we're looking at this in the 4-hour time frame, of course we have all of the moving averages all lining up really nicely so far. You know, it's not like ideal and perfect, as we see with the potential cross just in there on the yellow 8 and the 18 period, but everything else is going along swimmingly, and that leaves us with the overall impression that so long as we actually do stay above this 236 and don't take out this structural zone here and really at maximum get the 60% move off the back of that triangle and then go towards the top side, then it's really just simply a short-term correction and nothing more than that, and offers up one of the BTFD opportunities. Now if we do go down below those areas, then obviously we're taking out this, and that's a significant area, that's significant significant for us, and it does increase the likelihood of us going down that further 10% significantly thereafter, offering up massive trading opportunities should you choose to manage your risk in any of these zones, such as 677, 708, 758, and down to 652, 627 to 620, and then downwards past 591. You're looking at even going on beyond, and perhaps testing out some of these other key areas, but we don't need to cross those bridges until they're on fire, of course. Right now, what we're looking at as well is with this, the potential for this to simply just not work out. You know, what if it just doesn't work out, and what instead if this just turns into some sort of fake out and we take this measured move and go up towards the top side instead? What we're looking at, $826. It just took it off log in between times, so this wouldn't shrink and confuse anyone just tuning in casually. And then of course we already come up as high as this in terms of close enough is close enough so far with this 763 area. So we do need to take out two areas beforehand to really start to look positive at this. Remembering it's 730 at the minute. If we move up past 747.55, then we start to take out the wedge area again, and we're challenging previous highs, but we need to really push past 757. As you can see, today's price action has been up at 751, so it's not just a matter of going up there and then running away again. You need to be opening up and getting follow through, breaking past that 763 area. Otherwise it's just all fake out territory from any potential move up the way. Any fake outs from this will then ultimately just end up looking like the classic wedge that becomes a channel type idea. So you know, it depends really how everything works out with regards to that, but if you just kind of drew it like this along these sorts of lines, removed that top one, clone this bottom one, dragged it up the way and popped it in like this, and you were saying that something like this was happening, then overall you're looking for a turnaround in it around about these zones without doing any further continuation. You want to see these uncross, us to take out both of the moving averages at that point, go past 737, all those other targets we talked about along the way, and actually come up as high as 784 before you yourself then perhaps start to think about the chances of us not continuing on the way, and that could operate as your sort of fake out zone. And if we did go up the way, then your next target is 824. That's going to do in terms of the technical analysis on this one. Things I could be talking about, but you know, are such as on the 15-minute time frame. Do we have any 15? Actually, no, not even on the 15-minute time frame. What about the 1 hour time frame? No, it's the same as it was. Moving down the way until we take out the neutral line. Same as it was as well. What else? Volatility, all that volatility there. What did we see at the end of it when the party stopped? It went high, went back down to where it had been before, like, you know, that was okay. And then we pushed on down for these lows, which came, yeah, so nothing's looking particularly good there at this moment in time, unless we do actually see this operate as a local low, and we managed to take out our previous high in terms of structure and push past the neutral line here. Currently, it's possible to do it. Of course, you know, that means that people who did trade off this idea at the bottom end of this currently and thinking, well, this is just going to end up being a couple of wedges that turn into a channel, and we push along the way and confound people for a while, then, you know, cool, then you're already in a decent enough position to operate from a position of strength. But really, we're still just looking at this area and saying that we need to take out this. This is just sideways until it isn't, and this is the best that you can hope for. Going towards the downside, 708 is an easy target if you're looking to just scalp it, going beyond any of these downward zones. And of course, what we need to look to is going to be like your previous highs and the consolidation aspect of this. We need to see some sort of inelasticity happen in these zones with regards to the demand and supply nature of this, and to really push past it and get something else to happen. And we'll probably see this register down below instead of what we're seeing, which is a fairly consistent volume signature across that entire 1 hour territory. On the 4 hour, that's what that looks like, just coming up and kind of, you know, smoothing out the way, giving everything a little bit of a ratchet and a tighten up, if you like, as well as the volatility sinks down the way, and we see a lack of strength of trend on the ADX here, waiting for stuff to really happen. On the 24-hour time frame, then what could potentially kick back in again would be what is at the minute an upward strength trend. We haven't had a positive cross back there on the sort of Christmas Boxing Day area between these oscillators, without any divergence, as we've made these highs on the MACD at the very end of it between these last two. Of course, it is overall divergent, you know, obviously very much so compared to previous highs here across the board with the oscillators, but so far we've done it within these last two. Okay, so we need to continue that on and come in with a chance of burning out the previous one to that as well. So everything, we need a good rise up the way, and then of course you're looking at that sort of 32 grand Bitcoin and then $828 Ethereum. Jumping back over then towards the Bitcoin price action, bringing it all up, zooming on in, and in a few minutes I'll just read through the chat, catch up with you all. We'll bring on our special guest and see how he is seeing the charts and what he thinks, and see what everything is going on in the world. So cool, nice one. How many people we got in there? Nice one, over 20. That's good to see. Cheers everybody. Nobody's putting any requests for me to spin the wheel just yet, so that's alright. Maybe you're just all feeling hangover yourself and you don't want to put me through what you're suffering from, and that's lovely of you if that's how you're thinking. You don't need to be so kind though. Looking down the way, we can see that yeah, there's been hardly, oh, that's live chat there I've got up. Yeah, cool. There's very little chat in the minute. That's nice. Everybody just having a relaxing New Year's evening then. Hi everybody, I hope you're all having a great trading year. I hope you all have a great trading year. I ate my New Year's black-eyed peas for luck. It's a southern thang, says Kevin there. Hey Rocky, are you hungover, brother? Not quite, not yet, but I'm working on it. So I'll just move on to my next glass of wine there. Everything kind of going along smoothly. We've done all the TA so far today. How far are we into this stream? I think we've been fairly efficient so far with regards to time. 40 minutes in, every coin that we normally talk about covered. That's good. That means on average we spent less than 10 minutes per coin. So that's lovely, all snappy. Maybe I should be having a glass of wine with every stream. And then let's see, yeah, got people chatting to each other. That's cool. So, and what are we doing at the minute? 29,234. The body coming up, challenging the highs from yesterday. That's the 24-hour time frame. Let's jump on down to the 15 and check in with all this glorious positivity. Oh no, wait a minute, it just remains the same as what we talked about before. So movements down past this, making this a local high, then of course brings us in as being ever so slightly bearish aspect towards the oscillators, having gone up there and given themselves like a dolphin jumping out of the sea to get a nice breath of air, another chance to swim even lower yet again if that turns out to be hidden bearish divergence. So anyway, there's another analogy from the world of analogies. Right, let me just yeah, put the price action front and center with this biznatch and check in here with my tabs and see if the stream is working all right there. Yes, the stream's working all right there, so that's good. So then I can then go back to my Streamlabs and hide my own tabs. Okay, so I'm going to hide my own tabs here, and what we're going to see happen is a special guest come on, and I'll put their tabs on screen. They've got an opportunity to show us what they've been looking at. Do you want to do that? Yeah, so we'll have an opportunity for them to show us what they've been looking at, and I'll take my own price charts off, and then there'll be another video just down below the extension of this one, and we'll have our live guest on here. So hope you're all excited. Drum roll please. Hiding off my drawings and bringing them on. What we can see is that trading view. Wait, oh, I need to hide my own volume. I need to. Oh, we one here that we have trading view. Come on, where's my trading view? We get my guest's trading view to pop up here in a second. Here, is this it? Does that show up? Let me just make sure this is actually working smoothly before I bring them on fully. Do you see that working properly on the live stream there? My guest's trading view. And let's see then, I'll bring their face on board. I think it is moving smoothly there with that one. So let me just say hello, and I give a big welcome to, and let's see as well, tell me if there's any audio issues and everything else, so we don't, like, you know, run on for too long here not knowing that we're talking into nobody's hearing us. So let me just give a big warm Rocky Outcrop welcome to the inaugural guest on the channel, my very favorite good man here. It is of course Trade Spotting. Way, everybody give Trade Spotting a hello in the chat. So how are you doing there, buddy?
Good, thanks for having me on, Rocky. Hello, chat. I've morphed out the chat onto the stream like Neo from the Matrix.
Now, is that actually working? Tell me now. Is the audio coming through there for everybody in the live chat? Let me know if you can hear our guest speaking, because of course it is of utmost important that we have technological success here on the channel and everything goes smoothly. Just let me know if everything is indeed working there. And yeah, let's see. We had a super chat here. Did you see the super chat coming in there, Tracepawn? I'll let you read it out. It should be appearing in the chat momentarily. No sound. Okay, YB Design. No sound says YB Design. So we're going to have to make sure we've got the sound working here. Is your mic on? Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let's see. Give it another shot. Say something there, Tracepawn.
Hello, hello. Is this me?
Well, I'm not hearing you on my computer, to be honest, either. I tried to see. Wait, actually, let's say something else. Say something else. It should be working now. Try it now. Right. Well, maybe that's a technical fail. I don't know. We'll just have to check in with the chat again and see. Everybody can let me know. No audio, says people. Yeah, it seems like there's no audio. Well, okay, that sucks. Maybe I can figure out some way of getting it working. It was working before. Don't you know, Saw's Law? What's the point in testing anything when it works perfectly, and then, of course, when it goes to the real thing, you can't hear anything? What if I push these buttons and just keep hitting buttons and all this sort of stuff? Would that help? That tends to help sometimes. Just try speaking into the thing for a wee while, Jimmy, and see if you get anything to come across, and I'll read what's happening with the chat anyway and catch up with folk if they've said anything else.
Well, on the off chance I've been looking at Bitcoin, obviously, and RSR, which I've been interested in for a while. And today is had a good day. It's been going up, still going up. There's a lot of frames early before our see it still in this downward sloping channel, which isn't particularly positive. But it might have a resolution sooner rather than later if the alts are starting to turn around. And if you can see my watch list there, a lot of them have done, a lot of them are doing particularly good, even against Bitcoin. So Algorand, RSR, Link.
Nice. Hold on a second there. So that's cool. You've got a few positive coins to talk about that are doing well in the charts. Some altcoins that are worth taking a look at. That'll be quality to see. So that's what TradeSpawn wants to talk about. I don't know. I need to check in with the chat and see if anybody this time around heard anything that TradeSpawn was saying. Of course, he's looking at his own chart in the background, and what he has up at the minute is RSR, and he's thinking it's doing pretty well at the moment, and it's good to see it doing well. And he's talking about it versus Bitcoin, and he's looking to see still low audio. Low audio is better than no audio, but I suppose maybe what you need to do is move that microphone up closer to your face, like right up next to it. That might be something. I don't know if that makes a difference, or maybe you're just hearing them through my mic, in which case, of course, that's still a complete technological fail. We have our own microphones. So yeah, what's up, Mang? Says Saint Resin. Good to have you here, friend. Let's just see then if we can get it working. I could just obviously close the tabs down and try and open up again, and let's just actually that's what I'll do. I'll just do the brutal method there. So I close the Discord tab and I'll go and tune into Discord again and see if I can get it working by joining a chat. Join. Okay. Discord. Wow, Discord really knows how to send a warning message in your face, huh? So going on over to here and sticking in stop watching, it says mute. No, I want to leave the chat so I can open it up again. Just excuse me 1 second as I do this. Of course, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Discord with a H, that's not how you spell it. And thanks, yes, and what we're going to be doing here is bringing on our live guest and having a chat with a couple of different altcoins. At least I heard something coming from Discord that time. Let me just click on this, put in a pop out. Hopefully that brings it back up on screen. There's Discord, there's showing back up on screen. Talk to me, let's see if you can hear you.
Hello.
was that light flashing there? It's not it's not, is it? Yeah, we want it to be solid.
Hello.
Okay, so you had your
That should
microphone
be
muted.
it.
There we go.
On, off, on, off, on again. So the smooth, buttery tones of trade spotting here.
Thank you very much for inviting me on, Rocky. Like I was
Saying,
saying,
I'm like Neo from the Matrix, and I've come from the chat into the stream. And like Neo from the Matrix, some people call me the One, because I'm so interested in one coin, and it's had a good day. Also, RSR, which I've been talking about far too much for somebody who doesn't actually normally trade alts whatsoever. It's had a really good day, and I've been looking at it on that downward sloping channel, which we start to reach the top of. Perhaps a little bit divergence, so it might have done its thing for today, but in and around 20%, that's not bad. And it gives me the impression that if it does come back down, it might give us a really good entry for something really good on a longer time frame. Because, yeah, there's some divergence.
If you
Not particularly positive, but looks like it's got a chance to get somewhere, which would be good if things were turning around, which they might soon do. As we've all been speculating, there might be a little bit of a breather for alts. And if there was, Algorand's doing particularly well as well. And I know a lot of people in the chat are interested in it, so we could take a look at it later. And what else? Link against Bitcoin doing particularly well, and I was really happy about that because we need the coins that we think are going to do well if there is a little bit of respite to show some strength during the Bitcoin bull trend. So if Tezos could pull itself out of that volatility towards the top and Link could do the same, then I know everybody here would be particularly happy. So those are the things I've been looking at.
Fantastic. Right, cool. So, excellent stuff. And that means that you have been trading this yourself. So you have got sort of hands-on experience with this one right now, what you've got on screen. Would you mind closing off that tab of all your favorites there on the right and letting us zoom in a wee bit so that we've got a clearer picture? Because on the live stream to stream out to public thing that we don't get the beautiful pixel action that maybe we can see on your screen yourself.
Well, that's RSR.
Right.
As you can see, it's near the top of this channel. You know, if you're looking for a long entry, I wouldn't suggest you'd find it here, but the fact that it's demonstrating strength I find to be quite positive. I like RSR because the mechanism, the tokenomics that are involved in it and RSV are there for a purpose, as opposed to some of the slightly more gimmicky versions that you find even in good coins like VET. And the RSR, the function of it, of course, the RSV is to work as an anti-inflationary measure. So they take real-world commodities to back their stable coin. So, for example, if your underlyings are increasing in price, and that's making its way through the consumer, obviously, in the end of the day, you'll be paying more for it in cash. But if RSV, it holds, say, the cotton or the mortgage-backed securities or whatever it happens to be, then it'll be immune from the rises and falls in that particular commodity. And if you've got a large enough basket, then you can consider yourself inflation-free, which is what RSV does. And then, because it's a stable coin, in order to get it to be stable, you'll trade in and out of it in RSR.
And that's where you get this constant then upward move in the prices, because you're talking about having a basket of goods, essentially, which is what kind of constitutes inflation, and saying that if this basket of goods here is backing this coin, then we're stable versus the inflation of those underlying assets, if you will. And then in order to keep that price on a one-to-one basis, they increase the price of the other coin, RSR, so that it can inflate, if you like, instead of the stable coin RSV, which will stay at a one-to-one basis versus the underlying assets. That's cool as a methodology and a tokenomics and I think that's probably something as well that doesn't come across in just like the immediacy of their website, because we looked at this the other day on the channel, and it's hard to understand exactly how one token could go up in value while another one is essentially a stable coin.
Yeah, it can be hard. I mean, people who've a strong grasp of economics, or even people who find themselves to be like literally capable, will have some idea of the mechanisms involved in inflation. But that inflation in and of itself isn't inherently bad. You know, it's an inbuilt part of the Keynesian system. And with averaging pricing and mean pricing and corrections over the piece, it works. And so you don't necessarily need to dismantle the old to build the new. You know, if a cryptocurrencies can come along and work between the current financial system and this utopia that some people predict, then things like RSR will do that, working with Keynesian economics and the crypto system. So I like to talk about RSR, but only because I see it's got a real true business purpose.
Yeah.
I see the same thing. I mentioned OneCoin.
Harmony One.
I got my mic on now, double check.
Yeah, you're still going fine.
Yeah, so I also talk about OneCoin I like, so maybe cover that quickly in about 60 seconds.
How about you open up the other chart? There's a chart that you want to look at and kind of ready it up on the screen, and I can go back up and read that super chat that was, you know, it was put in just at the time when we were trying to figure out the audio technical issues here, and I missed it at the time. So here we go. Happy New Year, everyone. May your coins moon, and you, Rocky, may you spin the wheel for us, please. So I'm going to have to do that, and that's going to appear on the screen in just a second. So I'll just bring that up. And where are you? Where's my spin wheel? There it is. There, and then I just have to dive on over to the dashboard on Streamlabs and hit the spin wheel one. As for anybody who's just tuned in since, what I'm doing tonight is having a guest on the show. This is TradeSpawn, fantastic guy. He has a YouTube channel of his own. You should definitely check him out and give him a wee subscribe. And of course as well, he's always here in every stream, so he's a good member of the community. Many of you already know him very well, and we're having a celebration of the fact that the YouTube the channel and the Rocky Outcrop community started a year ago. We started last year, and it was a kind of almost like a New Year's resolution to get the channel going, and here we are 1 year on from that, and we're having a Drinky Poos celebration. And I've got this spin wheel up, and this is what Robert Online has donated in order for me to spin. And of course, everybody that does, no matter what your level of donation is, if you do it through the OneUp thing, which I've actually put in a pinned message at the top of the live chat and is in the what do you call it, description down below, then I'll spin this thing. And what we have are some options on here. Shot, and that would be a shot of vodka. I've got the vodka right there, and I've poured it into the lid of it. It's more or less shot size, right? Cool, we'll just go with that. And or a sip, and that sip is a sip of my wine. Of course, I've been doing that kind of all the time anyway throughout the stream. And then there's neck. Neck is to neck the whole thing. Now, of course, that's just down in the whole glass of wine, and that's, you know, not excruciating, but it can become excruciating if you actually land on this V2W one over here. That means vodka to wine, and that's when I take the shot that I had prepared and I pour it into my wine. Now, I don't want to do that because I actually quite like this wine, but there you go. This is part of the fun. And to balance out that sickening option, of course, I've got skip there as well. So let's spin the wheel and see what fate I have in store for me, and then we'll dive back over and check out Harmony One with our guest on the show today, Jamie, also known as TradeSpawn. Okay, here we go. Spin wheel. Ooh. Neck, right? So there you go. And while we were chatting, I filled up my glass of wine. So that's a full, decent-sized glass of wine. Let's do this. Actually, I'll just hide the spin wheel, and we can do that again if anybody else. Like I say, no matter what size donation you do, we'll give it a spin on there. Preferably stick it through OneUp coin, but you know, we'll do it with super chats as well. And here is, of course, Jamie back again to take us. So why don't you show us what you're looking at with OneCoin, and I will stop talking and drink this whole glass of wine all at once whilst you kind of introduce us.
Well, altcoins, yeah, one, I'm interested in one. I've got a little bit of it, but not as much as I'd like if it's going to do what I'd like it to do. So, where would I look to get an entry? Somewhere around there. Alt H Alt H does the horizontal lines. I find that to be quite a handy shortcut on TradingView. And then I'd look at that as a fake out area up there. And then if we ever got past up here, then I'd be looking for new all-time highs, because I think OneCoin is poised to take advantage of big changes that are coming in 2021. I see particular opportunities in the DeFi market for corporate debt firms, for corporate debt solutions, and a whole new layer to the financial system, which looked like it would happen in late 2011 and 12 with the peer-to-peer lendings, but then because of a couple of disasters, the bottom fell out of that. But I think there's a lot of potential in OneCoin, and
you think that it could grow into all these already quickly emerging new economies like DeFi, and as well capture some of what was maybe touted as being XRP's role?
Yeah, well, XRP's only thing it had going for it was that they use it for cross-border payments, because it's fast and it's cheap. But then
there's a lot
they
of fast and
controlled
cheap
all
things
their
these
nodes.
days, right?
Yeah, and when so much of it was, the liquidity of it was faked, and so much of the price action manipulated.
Well, I think their biggest
The only people that were actually using it for any particular large quantities were MoneyGram, who had, again, heavily involved with Ripple. So whose word for it are you going to take?
That was their kind of vertical integration, I suppose, if you like, or perhaps horizontal. It's hard to know how you would say, was Ripple taking MoneyGram like a horizontal or vertical integration? It's a funny dynamic when you're looking at this new emerging world. But you're right in what you're saying, that it seems so much of their liquidity was obviously, well, not your. It's been alleged. Allegedly, right?
Allegedly. Anyway, I don't care, and I don't want to spend any amount of time talking about
But one
XRP.
could maybe fill
So
in.
move on
yeah.
from that. But yeah, OneCoin, a much more honest project, with a lot more credibility behind the people. I mean, the people that are doing it need credibility. They've got a good background. The team's good team. There's been no pump or dump. And so it's benefited in that way. Also, it stayed under a lot of radar of a lot of people, so it's maybe not done as well price-wise as it might have done, though I don't suppose that is of any particular concern to the guys behind it. What is it then, as to describe it the same way, perhaps give it as much attention as we did to RSR? Not to say that I like either of them more than each other, but OneCoin's a proof of stake protocol. Its main benefits are that it's fast and that it's cheap. It's also very reliable. Highly optimized multi-state sharding process allows concurrent on-chain transactions and parallel integrations, so that you can do all types of stuff all the time in great quantities really quickly.
So it's technologically, it answers quite a lot of the questions that are being asked by the sort of friction from early blockchain adoption.
Yeah, all those ideas that people put in their white papers, they hypothesized as perhaps being problems.
So with
whether they are or not, I've got a solution in OneCoin. The multi-state sharding, the pipelining, detached linear scalability, all of the buzzwords.
So from what I've seen of OneCoin so far, it's still very nascent, but it's got some. So what we can agree on here is that it's got some really promising potential. So okay, that's cool. Let's take a look at what you've got drawn on the charts here. See a similar sort of channel to RSR. Obviously, it's suffered versus, well, Bitcoin has had extreme rises recently. It's not managed to sort of overachieve in that regard.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, I don't think a downtrend in alts is a particular surprise to anybody, in any particular coin. I mean, a few of them have done half decent, but not really, right? They're all very themselves recent. So you'll see this pattern. I mean, you have on so many.
Yeah,
alts,
of course. I mean, that's what we've been talking about recently. This is just the world recently for the vast majority.
Yeah. So I mean, if we were looking at it from a charting perspective, you'd run a million miles away from this sort of thing until it demonstrates some strength, which I'm hoping it does before it reaches the bottom of this channel again, or if, as and when it does reach the bottom of this channel. Obviously, you've got like a low on here.
And looking at your horizontal lines there, I can see the ones that were out just before you drew that most recent one on. Like we're at one at the minute, so like there's that, and then there's the lower line that you've just got on there, and there's the top of the channel just shy of the upper line, just up above.
Yeah, so these are the sort of areas. I mean, I'd be looking for it to do some sort of a break of here, and then I don't think it would necessarily stop here. This is the sort of price action I'd be looking for to even get involved in this sort of thing. You know, I trade Bitcoin all the time, all day, every day. I'd only move into something like this if I thought it had like a bigger risk reward potential than my typical Bitcoin trades, and they're all like 5 to 1, 15 to 1. So I'd be looking for something good, which means that I don't need to rush into it. But it means that I'd need to, if I'm looking at altcoins, I'd need to look at some that had a real business solution.
Okay. So like so there's a real world implementation, and there's good ideas here, and as well you've got some key levels drawn out. Why don't you just reiterate the key numbers? This is 1 versus USDT. What are those sort of key levels that you're looking at there in terms of prices? Just because some folk might not be able to read the.
Well, just to give you the numbers and to put them in more context, go up to the daily chart, and we can see that the one which we're in and around at the minute against USDT. 00395, that sort of area.
Yeah.
If it does well in around here, I'd be surprised but pleasantly. I could see it testing the bottom of this channel again, which at the minute comes in at around 00269. And then there's the all-time low areas in at around 00134, and I think anything around there would be an incredible bargain if you were going to get it, because I think this coin has potential. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I would enter unless if it got there on the charts it was showing some strength, which would have to be, you know, I mean, going on simple just our RSI divergence. Looking at things like this that have done this, I don't necessarily think there's any need for more indicators.
That RSI that you've got there, I think I recognize it. I think I recognize it. Can you just maybe explain to folk what RSI that actually is that you've got on your charts?
That's the RORSI plus EMA.
That's the Rocky Outcrop.
Relative Strength Index and Exponential.
I've heard of that Rocky Outcrop guy. He's quite cool. That's awesome. Nice one.
What is the benefit of this indicator? Well, I would say that this indicator and the skeletal form of it is much copied and never bettered. There are various paid indicators you'll find from various well-known and not so well-known crypto traders whose indicator is based on this basic premise, with the relative strength index showing positive and negative crosses across a moving average.
Well, I can see on your chart there you've got a red zone at the bottom and you've got a purpley coloured zone at the top, and that the price is not actually, in terms, sorry, not the price, but the RSI line that you've got on there hasn't actually managed to break into either of them so far since we moved out of them back in that sort of September, October region over there. That's interesting, and currently we see that the RSI is obviously skirting around the bullish control zone, but that's the RO, the Rocky Outcrop one. So if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that Rocky Outcrop guy moved his bearish control zone slightly down a little bit just to make it so it was really more realistic for the crypto market. So we've not actually managed to make into the bearish control zone quite yet since we were down there. So maybe we're seeing a bit of a movement towards the top side in store. If we were to go up towards that neutral line, it could look quite good. How about, since we've seen that there's maybe just the potential, I can't quite see there looking at the screen, but I think maybe the potential for some bullish divergence just at the last two lows. Are there? But it's not. It's actually lower. No, it's not. It's gone. Yeah. Well, between those two, sure, great, okay. Yeah, actually, yeah, no, that looks far more significant as well. Perfect, excellent. So this is a real level. I can see why you've got the traffic light system on there.
Yeah, the traffic light, I mean, keep it simple, right? I mean, this is quite simple TA at the very end of the day.
This is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
So, I think that there is a chance, but I'm not going to get any more than I already have. You know, if you want to be going here, you don't particularly want to be starting here. It would be even better to get something around there. Under current conditions, where things generally aren't lasting that long, if they get a bit of a pump in the alts, you're half expecting it to come back tomorrow. There's no change there. But if this has some potential and does make it up to around this area, maybe there's a half decent trade on for you.
What about if we look at it on the 4-hour time frame then, or something like that, to kind of because this is a really nice daily perspective we've got. Let's zoom it in a bit.
So yeah, I mean, if you trade the Bollinger Band,
there's
and then of them settles, then you can see that here we're at a little bit of an inflection point, right? Things have been tightening up. We've put in a double bottom, perhaps in like some sort of shape.
Yeah.
And we might come in and around test something in around this median line of this channel that we've got drawn. Well,
it looks to me like if we go up towards the top end of that Bollinger Band area, then we are also within sniffing distance of the median line of the parallel channel. At the same time, doing that, by the looks of it, the RSI would be yet again challenging, maybe even testing and going beyond the neutral line of the RSI there. It's above the moving average as it's got this little move up the way. However, it looks like it was just shy of getting bullish divergence between these two lows. So if we did see it getting, rejected again here and requiring support on that lower orange line there, which is of course what we saw in the daily time frame, the sort of the amber traffic light line there, that line there, then what would that at the minute, in terms of being able to be a low risk trade, if we're looking for a somewhat counter trend trade to take on here with the potential for a double bottom, that might be quite a good one. And you know, if we were looking at this on the inverse chart, I think there's a pretty good chance we'd be saying that this is a cup with handle, you know, because you can see that we've got that double bottom formation and then a base in the volume signature is not perfect, but it is what it is. I mean, we can see here it looks more like sort of, you know, with that head and shoulders type aspect, but we know the run into it was a downtrend, so it can't be a normal head and shoulders. But in terms of looking at that and thinking, well, if we disregard the volume too much in terms of this 4-hour time frame, maybe it looks different.
I don't think you can really look too much into the volume on a general profile of it and this particular
because it's versus
coin.
Bitcoin, right? I mean, at the minute, yeah. So how about we measure a 50% Fibonacci from that top there that you've got, kind of more or less at that orange line, exactly down towards. I mean, essentially, it's the 50% of where you've got your two horizontal supports coming in at. Looking at how that you drew them in beautifully. That's what we're looking at there. So
let's take it like you're saying that it does find some success around the median line here of the channel that we've just made up, and that the EMAs on this 4-hour start to recover a bullish posture,
right,
then we could see it come up and test the 0.5 very much. I'd expect it to, and that would also be in line with this historical resistance
perfect
in this area. So if we drew a little forecast on there, we can see that'd be a move of 36%.
it would achieve a overall as well. It'd probably achieve a lower high on the daily, and you got, you know, you're making a huge move, which is good enough for a whole year's worth of like institutional money style moves. You're making a huge move there, so that's a decent trade opportunity with a relatively easy to manage risk profile, given that if we were to go beyond that parallel channel towards the downside, then we probably would have stopped out of that potential for that trade long before anyway. So that looks really pretty nice chart in there. What's the next coin? You said something about algo earlier on? Maybe we should.
Algo's doing well.
If you give me
today, it's doing great. I mean, it's. I mean,
here, how about you give me a minute to catch up with the chat, and I'll read the chat, and you find the next chart we're going to look at, and we can introduce it then again, and all that good stuff. And I'll continue drinking glasses of wine here as I get tipsy, chatting to TradeSpot, a wonderful Rocky Outcrop that he is. Right, cool, excellent. I'll join back with you in a second here and just see what everybody's been saying. So. Yeah, Robert online, barely hear him, no audio. I hope that actually heard nothing. Well, I tell you, I heard everything he said, and it sounded really good to me. So yeah. No, it's cool. Yes, working, says Mexican Kitchen. That's it, says Kevin. We got it. Good going. And you guys have the same accent. That's correct. And it's actually a really wonderful accent that we possess, right? Here, the Mexican Kitchen. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's no secret at all. This guy, not only is he my best friend, but he is my brother as well. And we have the same accent because brothers tend to. But if I wanted to show you I wanted to show you that we're both really Gaelic, right, or Gaelic, or whatever you want to call it. Celtic, perhaps, is probably it, because we don't actually speak Gaelic or Gaelic, so that'd probably be better. We're both really Celtic in terms of that. We are Scottish and Irish genetics. We're both Irish passport holders, and we have Irish parents, and we grew up in Edinburgh. So that combination means that we have a ever so slightly different accent. This is more or less a typical Edinburgh accent, more or less. But then we're also, the little bits that let you say that we have the same accent are the things that are the differences that folk like K-Doc probably could sort of, or Scotty Sniper 93 would pick up on. Anyway, fantastic. And I noticed that Drew's Tech said liked, so fantastic. Thank you so much for Drew's Tech. If anybody else who wants to hit like button, that'd be fantastic. I'm going to let you also in another little secret. I'm actually a complete lightweight at the minute. I've hardly drank anything in years, so I can foresee myself getting fairly pissed here if anybody else does any of those sort of donation things and asks me to spin the wheel down in that last that last glass of wine. It sped me up a little bit. Also haven't really eaten anything today. Okay, cool. Sumal Goncalves says Tracepoint should get some headphones because of the echo. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey. Yesterday's stream, I looked back at the very first episode I ever put out on YouTube, and I'm very proud of myself, right, for having done it, okay? But at the same time, a little bit cringy, and lots of mistakes, right, moving on. We're now a year on from that point, and I'm 100% sure that when I look back come the 1st of January 2022, I'll be looking back at this one and going, whatever. But we will do that, right? And we'll be there to do it with, better cameras, better microphones, bigger community, and we'll remember what this was like laughing at back then when we're doing that blah 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 blah. Yeah, and exactly. We'll remember it as being very echoey, and we'll cherish those echoes, right? That's what we'll do. We'll cherish them. There'll be echoes very special to whatever, right? Anyway, moving on down the way. K-Doc, evening, ya alky bastards, says K-Doc. Are you not having a drink yourself? It's New Year's, let your hair down, K-Doc. Come on, take your bra off. The Mexican Kitchen, ha ha ha. So much fun. I'm joining in with you with the wine. Fantastic. Well, salute, my friend. Nice one. I hope you. What wine are you taking at the minute yourself? Is it a Mexican wine, or a Bali wine, or what is it? Mine is called Primitivo Puglia. I actually had quite a bit of a winiac type chat with Peter Hewer a couple of months ago, talking about this particular bottle of wine from whatever, right? Anyway, nice one. We talked about wine and it was lovely. MoneyGram sold all tokens XRP sent them as soon as they received them and are distancing themselves from Ripple. All right, really? It's a bit like, well, back off. Right, okay, so it's like that with them. I didn't really realize that. Anyway, that's interesting. K-Doc, not sure, King. I'm just on myself, but Happy New Year to you all. Yeah, good. Happy New Year to everybody. By the way, Happy New Year to every single last one of you. In Scotland, we have a tradition where you go around to somebody's house with a piece of coal and a wee dram of whiskey and you first foot them, and nobody's really been able to do that this year because of the coronavirus. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic your phone just died. A fantastic New Year. Maybe you can get that fixed up again, and we'll get you back on in a minute or two. If not, that's cool, because you can always come back on audio only. It doesn't really matter necessarily, although I did really love having the really cool blue light behind you as we were chatting there. That was quality. I'll just hide you just for now, but I'm keeping your browser screen up, and your audio will still be there whenever it's all good. So we'll see if you come back in a minute. Bloody wires, eh? You can never trust them. You can never trust them. Plow went up 100%. I wonder what you're talking about, Plow, but it's good to see you there. It's nice to have new folk here. Rocky Outcrop, any tips on doing trades with Denuni? Nope, no tips for trades on Denuni, because I've never heard of Denuni before. Give me some context, buddy. Are you just here to spam folk and talk about some exchange nobody's ever heard of, which is one thing? Are you talking about a crypto I've never heard of? Do I look like a fool for even saying what I'm saying right now? Let me know exactly what's going on, because I'm not too sure myself. OneCoin is a Bulgarian Ponzi, according to Wikipedia. No. Okay, right. So now you remember that? Do you remember that story?
Is my mic on or not?
Your mic is on. People can still hear you. You're still part of the show.
Sound, yeah, I remember that. That chick did well for herself,
She's
better than a lot of the average
successful
Bulgarian women. Anyway,
Yeah,
fair play.
she's one of the most
If you got
successful
taken in by
Bulgarian
that,
women
like-
of all time, right?
No, but there's only a certain amount of sympathy you can have for people who get involved in those sort of things, because you know that they're inherently greedy people.
It was a Ponzi, and at the time, people who didn't realize it was a Ponzi were,
Naive.
and I would say 2/3 of them realized it was a Ponzi and were, but then that still leaves a massive amount of people who got screwed over, and I wassa massively feel sorry for them.
Wassa.
Yeah.
Same. But then tough luck. Also, live and let die and Schadenfreude. We didn't make those mistakes. More power to us.
We have Creole joining us here in the stream. Jamie, he is put in a fire emoji. Give him a shout out.
Hello. Hello, Creole.
We have Kevin K. King. He is here quite a lot of the time, and of course he has a spanner. Give him a shout out. We have K. Doc. He is saying posher Scots accent. Look, right.
A posh Scots accent. Don't they sound like? I mean, I've heard them at Edinburgh Uni. I heard those posh Scots
We
accents.
don't have posh Scots accents. We don't have posh Scots accent.
It's just K-Dog's got really rough.
He's like, I'm from Glasgow. I don't like having any sauce on my chips. I want to have just salt and vinegar on my chips, and then I don't. Maybe we'll go and see the football at the weekend. But sorry, that's Glasgow, ladies. I'm sorry. It's okay. K-Doc is much love, K-Dog. Right, anyway, it's the same
I'm a little
probably.
suspicious that the echo is making it difficult for people to listen to, so I shall be shutting my microphone off shortly.
Oh yeah, you can hit the mute button. Right, yeah, if you hit the mute button every time you're not speaking, and then I kind of hug my microphone like this, then we'll all be, fantastic. Right, cool, nice one. You don't have Ouija accents. No, I don't have Ouija accents. I don't have a Ouija accent. My impression of a Ouija accent is also pretty bad as well. Anyway, nobody's spun the wheel in a while, and I just keep drinking my wine. That's all good, and we can see that you're too posh for taking the mic, lol. I'm not posh. Look, right, shut up your face. You don't know. I'm here on, we both are very aware that we're talking to a global audience right now. Do you know, looking across the world, we have
a global audience of 12 people.
We have folk like mi buen amigo Mexican Kitchen, who's in Bali, right? Who's asking who's older. That's what he's interested in. We have to talk out the way. If you football, you're too posh for. No, we are talking. Look, right. I don't need to explain myself. I'm talking into the microphone. I've already done this is me doing international K-Doc. Down some
You're gonna need to.
There we go. We understand each other.
When you get arrested by the shitcoin police, then you're gonna have to explain it. You're gonna have to explain everything.
I don't want to talk to no shitcoin police. I'm fed up. I've had it up to here with the shitcoin police. What is that chart that you've got up on the screen, and can you run us through it? I know it's audio only at the minute, but if you were to be more than we would be most grateful if you could run us through this particular altcoin that you've got. I actually can't read it. It'd be nice to see if you could tell us what it is actually you're looking at right now. First off, as well, UK 100.
Well,
That's a FTSE.
this is the UK 100, so it's the FTSE, yeah. But just by another name. And what does it look like? Well, it looks ridiculously good. It looks like it's a good chart. It looks like it's given us a good entry, and it looks like it's going to do really well, which would be a little bit ridiculous, wouldn't it? Because we all know that Brexit's just happened. Brexit's a bad thing. That the UK economy fell down the toilet a long time ago, and it's not like that one on TrainSpotting where you can just climb back up out of it really high. It's actually like a real manky toilet you'll never get out of, it seems. And here we are, doing particularly well, giving us a good entry. You would expect a little bit of a retrace, having hit the top of the Bollinger Bands, and with things have been as they have, and everything's obviously still in a bit of flux. And Brexit happened, but the event psychology would say that the event itself didn't end until something changes. And well, what's changed? Perhaps the real price action changed back down here at the end of October, start of November. And if that was people thinking that there was going to be some sort of a deal, and this is them taking some of their money off the table, then I'd say well done, that was a good trade. But does this offer up a good entry? It looks like it does on the daily, even on the 3-day. You've come back in, you've given us a good sort of retrace of the 21, which you'd expect in trending markets. Still consider to be very bullish, and you'd expect to see another test of the top Bollinger Band. That's what you would expect to see there.
What were you looking at just a second? That's the 3-day time frame you had on a second ago, right?
3-day,
And this is the weekly.
Looks a little bit brutal, but then, that's just the color of the candles. The truth is if you're looking at this as like a 5-candle pattern, we're doing
so
all
there's
right.
two
We're
arguments
still
to be
above
made
the
here.
low here. We've still got a lot of opportunity. I mean, this also looks like a good entry. If you're a trader that takes the sort of trades I do, this looks like a positive.
I see that, and I agree with that. And I actually think that this we can identify a clear horizontal line. If you'd already done it, then you'd probably have a horizontal line running along around quite close to where we are there. And showing us that there's probably resistance turn support in around about these areas that we're actually operating at. It's interesting because we've had so much uncertainty in the UK economy for a long time that if things do get priced into markets, then it's priced in already, right? So do things get priced into markets? Yeah, sure, they get priced in. So are you saying then, in a sense, that maybe what we're looking at is maybe the release valve getting kind of pressed for this uncertainty with regards to Brexit and us being able to push past it? Or is it less to do with the fundamentals and you're simply saying to yourself, in fact, I'm actually proactively ignoring the fundamentals in order to trade the charts right now? Which one of
the fundamentals, like yourself, right? We have come to talking about so many things as being fundamentals, having spent so long looking at crypto.
Yeah.
But fundamentals themselves are so many different things. So like you look at the relative strength of this market compared to another, and when the shit hits the fan, there's a few places where you can go for safety temporarily before it spreads everywhere.
Right.
And one of those places is the pound. Also,
but this is the FTSE, obviously.
And so if people would also say that the pound itself is you do not want to be putting your money necessarily into something that's facing huge inflation like the pound, or something that's up against new competitors in a new sense in the euro and the dollar. Then where does it go? And especially if you're British already and your money's in pounds, where are you going to put it? You're going to put it in the 100, and then.
Well, how about you just explain, just so people that can't see the numbers clearly enough themselves can see this green line that you've got talking about, the support resistance or the entry price or whatever. Maybe you could even stick on a 5-to-1-ish type. That button on TradingView where you get the position thing, that one.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I prefer to
or
actually
just talk
use
about the numbers.
this forecast tool,
Okay.
which you can
Actually,
see
that's a
here.
fantastic opportunity for me to go take a wee
Yeah.
wee. I'll be back in just a second, but tell people about the
So
forecast code.
while Richard's away, Rocky's away, I'll cover some of the things. I mean, one of the first things I did a video on YouTube was from the perspective of I wanted everybody to be a good trader, and I knew that when you got started in these sorts of things, there was lots of stuff that people didn't tell you. It was starting right at the very beginning, like would you draw your charting, would you do your analysis on your charts that the exchange provides for you? And a complete beginner might do that. They might think that's a good idea, you know, because it seems like it gives them most of the available tools without some of the restrictions that TradingView does. But then if you get to discover TradingView, you think, hey, this is quite a handy thing, you know. There was nothing like this when I started, and certainly wasn't the ability to make it nice, pretty colors. It was really garish, horrible, and old clunky thing. So I thought, well, TradingView, give people a quick rundown on how to use it. And a lot of the things that people don't know about TradingView is that you can actually get rid of this drawing panel on the left and get rid of half of these useless tools, and instead use a custom drawing panel with the things that you actually like, and have less space here taken up with useless things. And it's easy to do it. You just add them to your little box with a star, the same way you would if you were adding a timeline up the top there. So click that and you get another 2-day, and we put on the fib time zones, and that gave us the fib time zones up here. So these are the sort of things, little tips that people, you know, you don't know where to ask them, and you might never know how to do them. You might see somebody else doing it, but not have any particular idea yourself where it comes in at. So there's a lovely fib time zone. I'm going to change that because that's awful. We're going to get the background rid of the background. Sorry, get rid of the background because
Right, for everybody,
why
by the way, that's
even
just
is
joining
there
us.
one? Richard, Rocky is back.
Yeah.
So this is what I was looking at from terms of a trade. I like to do actual trades, but I'm not a big fan of that TradingView tool for the long and short positions, because I like to be a little bit more flexible. You know, I also like to look at things as they're happening. Sure, if I'm going out, I'll do something like that in my head, but when I'm at the computer, which is an awful lot of the time, then I don't need to. So this would be what I'd be looking at the FTSE 100 if I was trying to get an entry from here. You know, if I was getting in here, which I'm not going to say you should or shouldn't do, but it doesn't look bad to me, then this would be your target. It's a 4.5% up. You know, that's fantastic in this market. If you could get that move by the time this happened, it should be about, you know, less than 2 weeks up that many pips. That'd be a fantastic trade. It also wouldn't be all that high risk because you've got good areas for a stop. And not only that, but if it broke through these areas on a significant time frame, i.e. much more significant than a 4 hour, we're talking traditional stonks here, that you'd be looking at maybe something like a daily, a 2-day, or a 3-day. You know, you'd really want it to be breaking through it. But if it did, then you've got the trade on the other side, which is fantastic too. So this is quite a good, showing lots of good areas that gets me interested.
Just an area to be aware of, right? That's quality, and that's really nice to see on the channel, because I don't tend to talk about traditional markets. How about we jump back over to crypto? That's really quality. I'm glad. Did you give the numbers out just so people would know who you're trading along with it, where that green line is and where your orange line is?
If anybody is, it's in at 6,450,
and then the orange.
That's the entry, and if you're looking to get out, it's at 6,760, 6,790 between those two.
Nice one. And then how about we jump on over to take a look at one of the cryptocurrencies yet again when you have a chance, and you can set that up, and I'll just check in with the chat in the meantime and catch up with what people have been saying so that we don't miss anything in there, and then come back into the charts again in a second, and we can take a look at the next thing that you want to take a look at. So let me see. So we have Plow putting in an address asking for money. I need to buy food. Interesting one there. I'm just going to report that and let the YouTube gods decide which one that goes down with. Just let YouTube gods decide. Okay, cool. Not best to be sending you food. Instead, Plow, I'll send a cucumber. What's your postal address? There we go. K-Doc is going to do his favourite activity, put in his cucumber through a stranger's postbox. Haha, Tim, the ones the dogs wear when they haven't had an operation law. Okay, and what else we see here? What's older exactly? Posture, Scots accent. No, you got to stop talking about that. Eating is cheating. Yeah, exactly. I haven't been eating today. I haven't had much. I had lunch earlier on. That's pretty good, really, overall. Let's see as well what other people are saying. Bigger houses, better cars. Aha. Scrolling on down to the worst bottom of the chat, I can see that Zoners chipping in with the S-Coin police are on holiday. We're good today. Yeah, did you notice that? The S-Coin, the sexy coin, talking about Rocky Outcrop over here. Yeah, the police they're not out looking for me this evening for some reason. Don't know what it is. Well, actually, I was going to ask that you would take a look at SNX. Have you got SNX up at the minute? Constant on. Red, flash. Is that what it is?
Yeah, what do I want to think about SNX? Well, we've been talking about it.
Let's come back to it in just a sec. I'll just finish reading the chat 2 seconds. There's only a couple of messages. Then we'll jump back into we'll jump back in. So we're going to take a look at SNX. And the reason we're going to take a look at SNX is because K-King actually said it earlier on. K-King 1367 for all of you Rocky Outcropticians out there in the world who are, not aware. Currently, I think there are 0. Anyway, he's called Kevin. He's a good guy from Texas, and he was talking about SXP earlier on, or SXN Synthetics token. Let's take a look at that now. SNX, whatever. Here's TradeSpot to tell you what the actual letters are for it, and I'll let him take over, and I'll just fill up the glass of wine again. If anybody wants me to drink the whole thing in a oneer, or to add a thing of vodka to it, or to take a shot, you can spin the wheel, whatever. In the meantime, good stuff. Do you want a glass of wine, Jimmy? Right, okay. All right, nice one. When you get your camera working again, let me know and I'll pop you back on video wise as well. But here is the audio of TradeSpot to walk us through the SNX chart. If you keep everything nice and big, by the way, that'd be handy for people viewing at home. So kind of, always don't leave any margins on the left and the right for the chart or whatever, because it's the stream quality thing, whatever, Coco says meow. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let TradeSpot take over for now. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to drink a glass of wine.
So yeah, net constant on. So yeah, SNX. Again, like a couple of other coins showing some strength, but I wouldn't say right this minute is the time to buy. Perhaps you could take some profit. I was talking with K King about this when it was down around here, I think. End of October time, start of November times, we were talking about it, and it has done well since then. It's also got a lot going for it, and it's been doing relatively well compared to things that are similar to it. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to go over it like the way I did one coin in RSR, but let's with this one look at the. You don't need to, right? It's got a good chart, so you don't need to. I'm not sure about fundamentals anyway, but from this perspective, it's unnecessary, right? This is doing very well. Previous highs over here, no divergence. Well, it's not necessarily put in a high yet because this candle was such a positive reaction. All he did was test the 21, top of the Bollinger Band, the next stop before it perhaps consolidates around here and goes up again, which would be fantastic. But again, it's not somewhere I would enter. I'd much prefer to get into SNX. It's somewhere around another retrace down, which I wouldn't rule out for everything. And that's really basic on the daily time frame. If we turn on the this today has been good, and it lines up well with what we see for the last couple of months that we've had a nice rise up. What we've seen as well is that we've taken out the previous highs, because looking back to about September or so when we had those highs, we've moved back up above that right now. So we know that we're in an area that's a bit
synthetics the whole way along, because of course, they'll see it goes towards those all-time highs. We're right back at it now. So it's really a properly prominent zone. And what we're seeing is that RSI is going with a divergence.
Yeah, only a lunatic could short this. We're about to put in a daily bullish engulfing. We've done it at the top end of of an uptrend. And on this particular uptrend, there is no bearish divergence. So looks, I mean, you'd be a lunatic to short that. I don't know what you're thinking would be if you were shorting that.
Thank
4-hour
you,
trade
Kevin.
on that
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
The 4-hour trade on that has passed. You would have been using your EMA cross on your RSI indicator
Yeah.
for your entry on the retest of it. That was when you got in here. It was also immediately afterwards it was positive. So like the 4-hour trend, when would you go say that's finished? Well, like you're saying, it's got a long way to go before you'd even start worrying about divergence. So some people might take an entry here. It's just the risk, because anything can happen at any time, and it's quite likely on this occasion is that it would take another couple of retests here, especially when you do look up at the daily and see how wicky it's been. You could expect, even if it did stop up here, to have another wick down. So this isn't the sort of thing I'd go long on from here, but it also isn't the sort of thing I'd short. If you were in it and you got in it at this cross on the 4-hour, then your targets would be up and around here anyway. Maybe you'd close 66% or 75% and that sort of, and you'd be aiming up for $10, $9, that sort of area. That'd be the sort of thing.
On the assumption that there's a lot of people, there's yourself, there's K King, who've already been trading this for quite a while, obviously. What about people who haven't been trading this for a while? What are they looking for to happen in terms of retracements? Are there any areas to be aware of for, that could potentially act as pivot points just below where we are?
Well, yeah, but yeah. So if you don't trade this, I think K King just more of a sort of invests in these sort of things for longer term holds. Whereas when I've bought this previously in the past, I think twice, around here and around here, I've sold it on the. I've only been trading it on, say, the 12-hour time frame. I don't have that on at the minute, but yeah. So these are the areas I would have sold at. I would never really hold this for all that long, or any other altcoin, and for that matter. And I've only got into it because it looked like it was going to do something positive, like these sort of inflection areas on the RSI. And I suppose here was the entry most recently. Other than that, I would probably go and trade something else. But yeah, where would you be looking at if there was a retrace? Well, you'd also be looking at these things because they've been such a successful indicator recently. But you might think, worst case scenario, in a still positive market, you wouldn't want to see a cross on even the 4-hour on these sort of things, because since this positive trend has started, this has been our pattern, is to be splayed bullishly, so you wouldn't want to see that turn around.
We've got really nice strong candle. We've got really nice strong candle at the minute in the run up towards these most recent of highs, and it's looking good. So, can you give people a couple of absolute value numbers so that they know what we've been talking about? Because just for the benefit of folk who are watching on their mobile telephones or whatever, and they can't see the numbers on the axis as we talk about here and there and everything else, what sort of levels are the key levels if we had to choose one to the downside, one to the top side in terms of breaking it right now, and then targets?
Okay, yeah, sure. So for people who trade that way, I know a lot of people who watch YouTube videos have been taught to trade that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're looking for the sort of thing like, well, if it breaks here, where's it going next? Well, if it breaks below on a daily close 7.05 then it's likely going to 4.595, 4.8, which is a huge drop off in terms of the value of this thing. So that'd be that trade. You'd want to be watching out for a break of anywhere around 7.5, and you'd want to be looking for then, I mean, potentially be looking for a re-entry around 4.8. On the upside, well, it looks very positive. It looks like it's going to go on and do this. It looks like it'll easily finish above 8.5 this week.
Stick a line and give it a different color.
I will do, but it will go into the weekly chart for that. Just finishing off on this side, because the daily, we're already above where the dailies have closed on this whole chart that I've got here. I mean, you're already thinking like, well, where's the top? Are we going to draw some fib extensions? How are we going to work this out? But I don't know if they're necessarily useful in something like this.
Okay.
Instead, just go across, look at like the areas for the 2-day. That was our high of 8.03, 3-day. You know, and the weekly, obviously, that's fantastic. So, if you're looking for targets to the upside, I mean, whatever, right? It's whatever you feel like. Sure,
You can see
people
on
will
that
draw a
weekly-
fib extension on that.
You can see in that
and they'll
weekly
say,
chart just like how huge a range there possibly could be as well. If we were to see, you know, just in the long term perspective, if we were to see pullbacks, then they could obviously go fairly deep really as well, obviously along the way. But yeah, cool. I mean, towards the top side, what we're
if you're looking
at.
for a target to the top side, the next one that people who trade fib extensions would say would be around 1.414, and to get there you'd need to be closing around 11.5. And so if I had entered in and around 4.8 or got another entry at 4.8, that would be my ultimate target for this one.
Okay.
I wouldn't try and hold it for longer, because like I say, there's so many other things to trade.
Okay, that's cool. That's a nice one. So let's give those a couple of colors. Maybe put a red target in so people know where they would have to. No, wait, we don't do financial advice. We don't do financial advice, but at the same time, what's a decent area to manage your risk around, just so that people know. Looking at what we're looking at just now, if you had to manage your risk. Or what?
Well, there you got it. You know, it's 4.8, which is a very good entry. It's 7.2 if you're managing your risk from a trade around here, which is quite a big drop. And to the top side, you're looking at 11.5 as your target. And I would take profit as soon as my position got into 20% profit, 40% profit, and 60% profit, because it's too volatile to hold for that one target.
Perfect. Do you have any other? So that was Synthetics Token. I actually still want to know what Synthetics Token really does, to be perfectly honest with you. But still, right, that was that, and thank you so much for TradeSpot and for giving us a bit of insight into the chart currently, what our current targets are, and what to look to. Now, what we're doing this evening is, of course, a massive celebratory thing, because it's an absolute privilege of mine. I'm really happy to say that it's fantastic to have my brother here, TradeSpot, and doing an episode with me live. I'm so proud and happy of that. Anyway, there's that, but also
Let me interrupt you there. I've actually done one of your videos before. You were rushed to hospital with blood poisoning, but you didn't want to miss a single day of doing
that's
videos.
true.
And break
That
the
happened,
chain.
and for people who
So you could stick that video on.
yeah, if
Brilliant.
people want to see, I'll go look it up. I'll look it up in the background in there and just get it so that people can know what we were talking about there. I'll get a link to that one. That happened, but anyway, here we are again, and it's fantastic to celebrate the wonderful year that we've had starting this community. Now, I have an obligation to this community, and they'll not let me off the hook, no doubt, and that is 2 spins. Now, right, admittedly, I'm not 100% sure how it got to 2 spins, but I'm going to take K-King's comment as being the truth and accept it, right? I'm going to accept I have to do 2 spins. Now, thank you so much, Zoner, for saying. Actually, as well, by the way, I'm a complete lightweight. I haven't drunk any alcohol since October. The last time I drank any alcohol was in October, right? I haven't drunk not a single drop. And my birthday was, of course, in November. So I didn't even drink on my birthday. So my complete and absolute did you have sepsis? I had sepsis. Did I talk about sepsis? Dang, I ended up in hospital with that, but also I know how bad you must have been. Glad you healed. Yeah, right. By the way, not a lot of people know about sepsis. I don't talk about this because I tend not to get drunk on live streams, but here we are. And and just be really careful with your health, because you know you really need to. Jamie Trainspotting was very gracious and took over whenever I had to go through a wee bit of health stuff. Yada yada. We'll not get all carried up and caught away with it, but that's what happened. And yes, sepsis is very bad, but just, you know, be aware of it. Modern day people, we need to be aware of these things. Rocky, do you smoke Mary Jane? I have. Okay, I'm not going to deny it. I did inhale. Okay, I did inhale. Unlike Bill, I did inhale. And who let the bulls out? If you were here right now,
I can do the sound effect.
you could do. Go ahead. There's some sound effects for you for what it sounds like to make a thingy. Anyway, 2 spins because right. Okay, K-Doc, you don't need to justify it. They turn stocks and metals into synthetic stocks to trade on the. Oh, is that? Oh, right. Well, look, right. We're all on the edge of blockchain, right? We're here. You know it more as much as all of us, Kevin, right? You know this feeling of, right, you're talking about blah blah blah, but all I can hear is this is going to be on the blockchain in the next wee while. And what we see is synthetic, of course, doing that same thing. I wondered what it was. Now we know. Excellent. That's good to know. Right. What did I have to do here? Spin the wheel twice. Yes, I knew there was some big thing I had to do. Right, okay. But right, come on, no, make it visible. There we go. I want to have it at the top of the screen. Sorry, just like get my my layering correct. Right, okay, obviously I'm fairly nervous about this. I really don't want to fuck up the wine with a V to W, right? I really don't want to. But it's on there, right? Spin wheel, 2 spins because K-Doc, right, 2 spins, we're doing it. Spin number 1, drum roll. That was pretty shit drum roll. Spin wheel. There we have it. What's it going to be? Fuck. I knew it would be. Do you know what happened as well? As I poured it out beforehand. But didn't I just go and spill it? Didn't I spill it? I did. And I wasn't at that point at which I spilled it. I looked at it and thought, I spilled that and I'm still sober. Things are going to get messy later on if I'm spilling things and I'm actually sober. I should have probably have slept more than 4 hours last night before. And then eating twice today would have been an advantage. But here we are. There's spin number 1 coming up. K-Doc, being from Scotland, is obviously very familiar with the size of a vodka bottle lid cap. He can vouch for me. This is the equivalent of a shot. Okay, let's just. You know it is. We're okay. If you want to disagree, let me know in the comments. But here we go. Spinning the wheel. Oh, fuck off. Okay, well, this is what I mean. I knew this could happen, so I put it on there, and I knew it could happen. And didn't I just take a little sip of my wine to treat it as a chaser for the shot? I did. I used wine as a chaser. So here we go. There's your shot worth of vodka into the wine. Now I don't actually have to drink this until somebody says, you know, this was designed to make the neck aspect more difficult. I'll leave it for a couple of minutes and see how we get on, okay? We'll leave it for a couple of minutes and see how it gets. I'll just hide the spin wheel for now. K-Doc, you know, that's it. It's sat here, the poison chalice. There it is. It's ready to go. Yes, and by the way, if people out there are laughing at me for being drunk, I've drunk one bottle. Okay, so I've drunk a bottle of wine. That's all it takes to get me pissed, right? It's all it takes, okay? I didn't eat today, whatever, okay? Here we are. Just have to face facts and move on. Someone gets lippy on the wine, says K-Doc. Now, I choose this. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I take umbrage to you saying that. Do you have? Oh yeah, we chatted about all this. We've been through this. We've been through this earlier on. Who Let the Bulls Out says, Rocky, do you smoke Mary Jane? And we chatted about that earlier on. They turn stocks and metals into. Yeah, we chatted about that earlier on. My goodness, I'm reading all this old chat. May have also inhaled, but just once. Who Let the Bulls Out? Yeah, I know it's difficult, right? I imagine it was really tough for poor Bill when he was trying to be, presidential and all that, and someone put a joint in his mouth. I mean, it was tough, right? He smoked, he breathed it in, but he didn't inhale it. He just had it in his mouth, right? Okay, that's what happened. Now, people like Who Let the Bulls Out and myself, we might have gone one step further. We might have done in the past, right? We might have done. I may have turned a bath into a giant bong in younger years, says K-Doc. You might have, right? And that's cool. Before starting this live stream, I was aware of the fact that I would become inebriated in terms of some capacities that I have, and one of them might lead to me saying things that I later regret. So I'm not going to do that, okay, K-Doc? But as I read your comment about how you turned a bath into a giant bong, it makes me want to do the whole talking about stuff that I would later regret, and I'm not going to do that. But just to say that thinking about it makes me laugh. Nice one. Best live stream ever, says Mexican Kitchen. My God, you don't know how much I want to tackle right now. You see, I'm drinking this wine, and because you sell beer and tacos, i.e. you sell the need to eat tacos and then tacos. I mean, tell you what, you've got it figured out. You sell that to people, and there's me. I need a taco. Wonder how many spins it takes for Rocky to turn into Ravsy Nesbitt. Would be people. Let's see how many it takes. You know what? I'm not making it unfair. This isn't a purely capitalist alcoholic affair, because if it was, I'd have only had had one full neck and V2W and a sip. That's not enough. So we've also got the whole I'm contributing to aspect of this. I'm going to drink that. I'm actually going to end up drinking our vodka enhanced wine soon enough. By the way, how many of the viewers, let me know out there if you yourself have ever drank vodka enhanced wine before. I know that it's quite direct, isn't it? But we're living in a world of DeFi and everything else, and why can't I DeFi my wine experience if I want to? And I'm going to inject a little bit of vodka into the wine. It's okay. It's totally acceptable in a 2021 Scotland. Zoner says cool, nice. Navanethan says lol, that's also nice. Good to see. V2W sounds gross. Yes, it does. I have it here. Do you want to try it? Join me on the live stream. You're more than welcome to try it as well. We've got a lol from K King. That's good to see that we're doing okay on this. 3 out of 5 says Navanethan changed to drink. Now, I'm not entirely 100% sure. Not enough options. 3 out of 5 change to drink. Wait, what? Wait, hold on a second. Back up, everybody. Back up. Wait, hold on. So hold on a second. Navanethan, Are you criticizing my spin wheel? Are you really criticizing my spin wheel? Let me show you my spin wheel, right? My spin wheel. F you with your 3 to 5. Bring up, come on, Streamlabs, cooperate. Come on, Streamlabs. Look, 3 to 5. Screw you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. No, you're wrong. You're wrong, Navanethan. Unless I've completely misunderstood you, which of course is highly likely. Who knows how this turns out? Rigged game? No, Navanethan, it's not a rigged game. There's only one. No, stop being such. There's a 2 out of 10 chance that I get. No. Shush. I'm looking at Bitcoin. I should be, but I've got your screen up. You want to? I'll stick Bitcoin. I'll stick my screen back up. Actually, shall I hide your screen for a wee while? Your screen is Bitcoin. We'll zoom in a little bit so people can see what time frame you got. 15 minute. Yeah. Cool. So we're all right. I've also got the ticker up there. The price I see in my ticker is 29,366. Is that what you see?
Well, not that different. Those are different.
Neck for the win. K-Doc just donated again and he wants me to neck for the win. You know this is this. You know this is. He knows that's a half a glass of wine with a shot of vodka in it, and that I'll fill it up and keep drinking straight after. Here we go. There we're going to do it. V2W sounds gross. You're right, Zoner. It does sound gross. We're about to do it. We're about to do it right now. We're going to do it, right? Okay. This is what's happening. And Navanethan says, ha 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 ha. I have to say, I really do appreciate your moral support. Obama smoked like a chimney. I bet you he did. He's a cool dude. Also, Donald Trump is a cool dude. You know what? When it comes to Obama, right? Obama to Donald Trump, what's the difference? What have we got here? Well, we've got the dad of the girlfriend I wish I had versus the dad of the girlfriend I know I'm going to end up getting. That's what Donald Trump and Obama are to each other. It kind of sucks, doesn't it? I think we all accept that. And then, of course, it doesn't just stay girlfriend, it then advances to fiance, and then before you know it, you end up like K-Doc, married to the person, and that's what happens. But of course, I'm just kidding, because K-Doc makes me spin the wheel. I'm just kidding. And of course, K-Doc loves his father-in-law. I bet you they go fishing together all the time. The Mexican Kitchen says, gets worse in Spain. They drink Coca-Cola with wine. You're calling it Calimocho. You're calling it Calimocho. When I was in Spain, we just called it Vino de Verano, right? As in Tinto de Verano, we called it, right? Wait, no, we didn't. Tinto de Verano was wine with lemonade. Tinto de Invierno, winter wine. That's
Tinto
what we called
it.
Tinto de Invierno, we called it. Yeah,
Tinto
I
de
drank a lot
Verano's
of wine with Coca-Cola.
Don Simon drink.
Yeah, Don Simon. Well, anyway, Mexican Kitchen saying that Coca-Cola mixed with wine is somehow comparable to wine mixed with vodka. No, that's not. Spin the wheel connect, says Zoner. Right, we're going to spin the wheel. Okay, we're going to spin the wheel. I have this drink here. First off, I'm going to be honourable about it. Now, there's a bit of I understand K-Doc intimately because we're both Scottish, so I know what K-Doc wants me to do. K-Doc wants me to drink this glass that I have already. Then he wants me to fill it up with wine so that we're at a base level. Then if it's a sip, it's a sip, right? Okay? If it's a neck, it's a neck. But he doesn't want crap value, okay? And I understand that. I understand the situation that we're in right now. So I'm going to do that, okay? So I'll drink this that we have. Then I'll fill up my glass with wine. Then we're back to break even, okay? And if at that point somebody, wait, what chart have I got up? No, it's cool. Trade sponsor. Nice arrows, by the way. Excellent. And nice. By the way, it still seems like we're so zoomed out because of my screen. We're so kind of zoomed out that you could go a whole extra level of like control plussing it on it, but at the same time, that probably screws up. Yeah. Cade Hawk, you're getting value for your gravy. Okay. Oh, by the way, having said that, massively right now, it's 23:08. What time is it? Can we order KFC? Is it possible to order KFC right now? Is it possible?
I think it is possible.
You think it's possible?
I think it is. I think it's possible.
Can you turn on your? Can you order a KFC gravy? Can you order a KFC chicken gravy bucket? What we're wanting is the mini fillets.
I can order a KFC chicken gravy bucket with mini fillets.
Okay, if you can order a great, maybe we'll even stay online. Wouldn't it be great if I was seeing 5 of myself, you know, in terms of cameras over here, and I had, instead of just one bottle of wine and one what is that anyway, a quarter bottle of vodka, I had a full bottle of vodka and 4 bottles of wine and a bucket of KFC here. That could happen on this very stream. K-Doc, you are the inspiration for it. Jimmy, go ahead, try and see if you can order. It's 8 minutes past 11, 9 minutes past, so if you don't actually try like this minute, then we're screwed, right? Okay, spin, wheel, connect. Look, Zoner, chill out. I'm going to get around to that. Use one of those car disablers on his computer that he has to blow. And look, that's too complicated for me, man. I'm at this stage. I'm looking forward to KFC in bed. I have 2 priorities a minute. KFC, because K-Doc he's insidious, man. He gets in your head. I tell you what, he influences you. And you got no idea, but suddenly you're ordering a KFC gravy bucket and you had no idea that's what you're doing. Let's fingers crossed it actually works. It's past 11, who knows? Let's see if it works, right? And then there is the rest of the sentence that I was going to say there, which I've now forgotten. So you have that element of it as well. Who Let the Bulls Out says, begs the question, which is which? I don't know, but if you're begging the question about which is which, then maybe perhaps what you're begging the question about is yeah, anyway, I kind of hope that he is and all that good. You may know the kiss broke the bride at K-Doc. Wait, Zoner and K-Doc are talking to each other. Oh, I'm so proud. Here I am observing this conversation between 2 outcropticians. I'm so proud. KFC shuts at 11 p.m. Yeah, I know. I'm so... K-Doc, why couldn't you have...
Sorry, KFC's closed. K-Dog is correct.
Man, K-Doc, why did you not do this half an hour ago? You're so cruel. Anyway, right, we've got to get on with the show. It's okay, I have food in the house. What we have, I tell you what, right, I'm going to have a smoked sausage, right, so it's all good. I'm going to have a smoked sausage and chips.
But I'm ordering McDonald's. And
TradeSpawn's ordering McDonald's. It's fine. We'll have McDonald's and we'll have... Can you get Burger King? Look, okay.
I can, but you're not allowed.
You organise the food. I'll organise the chat, right? We have your chart up in the background. I'm going to bring up one of my charts. Right? Okay, K-Doc, you're getting your spin. It's coming up. Don't worry. It's happening. If anybody else wants to make me double down on it, this is your chance, because I genuinely intend on proceeding with what we're doing. First off, it's like a freebie. It's like 20% extra free. Actually, it's more like 50% extra free. I'm going to drink this glass of, which is wine mixed with vodka. Then I'll spin the wheel and see what we get. And I'll chat. Oh, by the way, I'm a lightweight. I explained that earlier on, but just in case anybody's tuned in recently. You may now have to kiss the bride. Do we think he's stalling? Fuck, K-Doc, man, I tell you what, you're so, like, you know that I was looking for KFC, and you're like, oh, do we think he's... Kebab shop peeps us. He's ordering McDonald's. It's okay. We don't have to stoop so low as a kebab shop, although we are drinking, and that, of course, is... If we talked about it beforehand, I'd have said, let's go down the kebab shop route, man, buddy. I mean, come on, kebabs, come on. But he'd have probably have gone for KFC, for McDonald's anyway. There you have it. Vodka and win gives me heartburn just thinking about it. Vodka and win gives you heartburn. How about vodka and wine? That must make you feel even worse. Steve X. Steve, you've changed your name. You're just happy with X now. Steve, it's good to have you back here. For anybody who doesn't recognize our friend Steve, is of course XRP is gold Steve, and that was before the run up. So let's be fair to Steve. Let's not look. You got Steve, and then you got Garlic House. They're different people, okay? You got Steve who said before Garlic House was in trouble, he said it's gold, and admittedly we saw 100%. Okay, we saw 100%. That's when Steve XRP is gold had his name as that. Then he changed his name to something like XRP what the fuck, okay? WTF. And fair enough, that was the world at that time. Now we have Steve X. It's not so much Malcolm X so much as it is WTF X11 XRP. So that's where we are. Steve, it's good to have you here, by the way. We're spinning and spinning. Fuck you. We're spinning it now. We're spinning. Sorry, alcohol. I reacted badly. I'm going to drink this. I'm going to do the thing. Turns out that vodka and wine don't go together very well. By the way, anybody who's interested in trying this at home, just so you know, vodka, the best mixer for vodka.
It works great when you're in Ibiza.
Okay, if you're in Ibiza, the best mixer for vodka is the Strongest House wine. Okay, no arguments. That's fine. If you're in Scotland, the best mixer for vodka is Iron Brew, okay? There isn't really a Mediterranean intermediate, mediocre level that puts vodka and wine together, really. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Turns out it's not a thing. Anyway, K-Doc, you're getting your value. Don't worry about it. Did you ever get that? Did you ever ask yourself, why is the wine not coming out of the end of the bottle? Did you ever do that? Chances are, now, through extensive scientific research on the subject, it turns out it's because probably you've not opened your wine up yet. And that is the reason why the wine hasn't come out of the end of the bottle. I was like, at least 100% sure, maybe more, that I had opened a bottle of wine in advance of this so that I wouldn't have to go through this embarrassment on screen. I was pretty sure I was thinking to myself, hey Rocky, wouldn't it be embarrassing if you had to open up a bottle of wine on screen and you were half cut and you spilt it? Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Maybe you want to avoid it. Anyway, he's as cool as ice, but some kind of something that rhymes with ice. So anyway, there you have your wine. Right, there you go. We're taking the lid of the vodka bottle. K-Doc, don't panic. All the other Rocky Outcrop out there, tell K-Doc to hold on to his Glasgow underpants. We're okay. We're going to do it. We've committed to the drinking, right? We've committed. Like, and he might try and tell you that it's something like Paisley instead of Glasgow, but we're going to just say Glasgow. Damn, I gotta give respect for that downing. Genuinely, it's a little bit more difficult to read than it was earlier on, if I'm honest with you. Genuinely, damn, I gotta give respect to that downing. Genuinely thought I needed a spin to get that, but he's forgot his own rules. Laughy face. Okay, K-Doc, that doesn't exactly inspire me with confidence when I read that message there. Anyway, whatever. I said I would do it. Let's bring up this spin wheel. Drum roll, please.
Do you wanna hear your McDonald's order?
Oh, my. Here, everybody.
Do you wanna hear what it is?
I want to hear what my McDonald's order is.
It's 2 bacon double cheeseburgers,
Bacon double cheeseburgers.
4 mayo chicken burgers.
Wait, back up.
Backing up.
Did you put extra lettuce, extra onions, extra gherkins?
No, because they fall apart. I put extra onions only.
Okay.
Happy?
Sorry,
Okay.
continue. 2 double
Okay.
bacon cheeseburgers.
2 double bacon cheeseburgers. 4 mayo chicken
4
burgers.
mayo chicken burgers.
2 large fries.
2 large fries.
20 chicken McNuggets share box, which was free.
What?
What? Well, you see, you spend over £1 million to give you something for free.
Okay.
A side salad for health.
Do we have dips?
No, we've got barbecue, ketchup,
Barbecue,
sweet and
ketchup,
sour, and that other yin.
I want garlic. It's okay. I've
Well,
got it
they
in the
don't do
fridge.
that at McDonald's.
I've got it. Cool. We're covered.
You got 2 large fries.
2 large fries.
You just the 2 of them,
Right.
and 2 banana milkshakes for some fruit.
Right, K-Doc, you thought you had me. Here he was, down on the ground. 1, says the referee. 2, says the referee. And the whole crowd, a bated breath, waiting. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen? Surely this is it. He is down. He's down. He's out for the count. 1 more spin of the wheel. This man, walking zombie. Wrong. Sorry, K-Doc. Wrong. Sorry, K-Doc. What I have on the way, right here, right now, 2 double bacon cheeseburgers. 4. Wait, did you say 4? Did you actually say 4?
I said 4.
4. All for me.
Yes, all for you.
4 of the chicken ones, whatever they're called, and all the rest of this shit we talked about. It's in your memory better than mine. Haha, K-Doc, eat shit. Here we go. We're like I'm sorry. I don't mean to eat shit. I feel bad. No, and don't laugh. Don't laugh at Rocky feels guilty for saying something negative. Don't stop taking the piss out of me. Right, spin wheel. Here we go. We're coming up. Spinning the wheel. I have full glass of wine. I have a full lid. It's a shot of vodka. I have just for the global audience, in Scotland we don't mess about, right? Your vodka lid, it's a shot, okay? Right? It is what it is. In the rest of the world, who knows what it is? But over here, we know what we're doing, right? Okay, we have that sorted. Thing done. Spin the motherfucking wheel. Come on, bitch. Look, right, no, sorry. K-Dog, I'm sorry. You did say we had to. I'm sorry. I didn't expect to get skip coming up on the screen, okay? So I reacted a little bit enthusiastically and I used a couple of V signs. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's the alcohol talking. Honestly, I didn't mean to. Ask Maria to forgive me, etc., etc. Here we go. Right, next spin wheel. You never know. I'll tell you what, let's balance it out. If this is a V to W, I'll do a neck as well, okay? If it's a V to W, I'll do a neck as well. If it's a neck, I'll do a neck. If it's a shot, we're doing a shot, right? We're doing a shot, but I'll silver lining it with you by putting on, I'll use the wine as the chaser, right? So we've elevated every single level on a Scotsman level, right? I think as a couple of Scotsmen we can see eye to eye on that one, right? Fine, fair enough. Let me just check in with the chat, by the way, before I actually go with this, because I don't want to miss out on anything K-Doc's saying. He's saying cry face, laughing. Cool. Let's just check a little bit up the way, by the way. Damn it, blah 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 blah. We've read that already, and we've also explained Steve X's name. What coin will make us rich this year? Fuck. you know, in terms of that question, I almost want to say theta, but the,
The
answer
is Bitcoin.
the answer is Bitcoin. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Trade Swan, for chipping in with that one. Fuck me. Before I even do you get this yourself? Anybody in the audience? Do you get this whenever you're a bit gastro refluxy when it comes to drinking? So you know I'm gastro refluxy when it comes to actually just doing the episodes after having dinner, but it's no surprise. Let me just scroll on down the way. We see that Steve X says, haha, thank God, haha. It means that you weren't upset with my XRP chat earlier on. That milkshake is gonna sit well with the vodka and wine. We might get right. Right. What we find as Outcropticians right now, everybody, is that we're right at the precipice between reality and Scottish verbalization of that reality. We're at the equilibrium point, okay? I've read K-Doc's message, and on the one hand, there's me thinking, I'm gonna ban you from talking. And on the other hand, thinking, he's the true voice of God. We need to let him speak. Yes, here we have it, ladies and gents. What are we doing? Have I done the spin? No, that was just number one. We're waiting for number two. It's all good. I'm reading up with the cat. I'm catching up with the read. Whatever, man. Stop judging me on where I put words and sentences. Cool as ice, twice as nice. K-Doc, you can say that because it's like 155,000 degrees in fucking wherever in Texas that you're hiding out at the minute. But no, it's not, man. It's fucking not, man. It's like, seriously, it's like 0 degrees here, man. We're cold. Anyway, you, like, look, I think if as a Texan, Kevin, man, as a Texan, if you ever wonder why for 8 months of the year the rest of the world is like, shut up, Texas, we don't want to listen to what you're saying right now, it's because of this. We are human beings and it's cold, okay? And you're in Texas and it's warm, and that's not fucking fair. So shh, until April at the very earliest, okay? Until April. Anyway, sorry, yeah. Right, that milkshake ain't gonna sit well. Yes, we've done that. Skip means the charts just skull. Sounds like I'm the devil and angel at Rocky's. Yes, that, yeah, K-Doc, you are, and you fucking know it. You know it, you are, you know it. Devil is licking the angel's butt. Imagine that. Happy days for the angel, if the angel, of course, likes having its butt licked. Who knows? I mean, maybe the angel's really, really against that and is like, oh no, don't lick my butt. But maybe the angel's really into it, and hey, the devil's doing it. Spin. Here we go. This is K-Doc's second spin. We know we got skipped the first time. Neck. There we are. Look, I don't even feel like it's fair. Look, K-Doc, we've arrived at this point. Do I just neck the wine and fill it up again? I told you I'd get a full glass. Okay, let's neck the wine and fill it up again. We'll neck the wine, we'll fill it up again. There we have it. I knew I would get drunk, okay? And I'm proud of the fact that it takes me very little to get drunk, okay? I'm proud of it. So here we are. Just a sec. Just a sec. I've been out dancing before. I know the way this goes. Okay, I am drunk. I've got very low tolerance, okay? Very low tolerance. Here we have it. I really want a bacon cheeseburger right now. It's okay though, because Uber Eats or some shit's picking it up. It'll be here in like no time. Okay, so we're at evens. Excellent. Let me just hide the spin wheel. In fact, let me tell you what. I'll take off my guest window. Jimmy, you want to put anything else on the charts? He's sober, I'm not. That's the difference. Do you want to put anything else on the charts, or I'll hide it and put my own charts? I'll put the 15-minute BTC prices on. What's that? What are you looking at right now? Explain it to people.
This is the 1 minute Bitcoin chart, and as you can see, we're in a downward channel. We've got a negative cross on the RSI Ema, and seeing as the 1 minute chart is where everything happened, I thought I'd stick it on and see, because a breakout of this could take us to 31,500,
Good. Kinda, there's a little bit of me that has to be honest. I wish you'd kept speaking for 30 seconds, but...
Okay, well, I'll just analyse what I was saying there. Obviously, the final point about 31,500, if we break out of this downward channel in the minute chart, is a joke. If you're trading the minute chart, then you're trading the minute chart, so your entries and your exits are based on this chart, and your exits at 29,362, which would probably be 29,650 on a sensible person's order. So you're also looking at this little mini top we've been at. Could test that again. If we did, I'd expect us to have a good look at the divergence at the time, but obviously looking at 1 minute chart doesn't mean anything in the real scheme of things, and the truth is it looks like we're in danger of putting in a head and shoulders on the 15-minute chart.
Is there an upward price rise and the run up to it?
Well, I mean, we all know there is, right?
I'm sorry, just
here
I've
it
been
is
looking
here.
at bottles of wine. I've not been looking. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
no problem. Yeah. So and there's a lot of things that would start to make it look like this head and shoulders could be painted in quite easily. For example, the support line we've got here, could easily test that. The bottom of this tiny channel we're in, which of course doesn't just exist on the minute chart, though that's where we drew it. And also we've got a lot of moving averages crossing. What happens when they cross? Well, we test them to see if it's real or if it's crap. And so even on the 15-minute chart, you've got a lot of things pointing like, ooh, what might happen? And it all depends on this RSI EMA cross. So if we keep an eye on that, trade the 15-minute, you'd be looking for a short that either closed in around here or a long that opened up and around here, and you've got a good area for a stop. When I say here, I mean 29.2 something, and your stop is 29,150. That's easy. And then if you think we're bullish, whoop-de-doop-de, happy days, right? Or if you think potentially that we break down below here, this might be a good re-entry for a short. If you think, well, on the retest we're not going to make it, which you would be able to make your mind up based on if this had crossed or not. So that's what I was thinking. Also, because the daily close has come up in about 40 minutes, it's worthwhile looking at the slightly higher time
I
frames.
really want a McDonald's right now.
Well, it'll be here in about 30 seconds. You'll have to answer the buzzer when it gets here.
No.
Haha, yes. So, looking at the hourly chart, you see we're coming up at the end of the day. Also will be in our whoop-de-doop-de, there's some special insider information for you. And as you can see, we're doing quite well, generally speaking. This is a good candle on the back of these.
Good.
And so if this does come up here, we've still got a lot of different reasons why it might stop,
Right.
Not just because of the shorter time frames, but also this right shoulder
I
idea.
have two things to say right now.
Go for it.
One of which is that I'm going to remove your charts from the live screen so that it's my charts.
That's a good idea.
And the second of which is that it's actually you that's going to have to answer the door to the guy that's delivering the McDonald's, because I've put my live charts on the screen. And that's the way it goes. That's right. That's right. Of course, everybody in the audience knows that I'm the man with his hand on the mouse. And of course, I can control all of these chart things. So let me just kind of focus in here and find where they are. What happens if I hide that one? Is that's the wrong one? So we don't want to hide that one. Then we've got this one called... that's not it. Anyway, maybe you should keep everybody informed as to what's going on as I find out a way to usurp control.
Well, what's going on right now is I'm tracking the Uber Eats driver, wondering why he's going round in circles. But then, I've seen it before, so I'm not that bothered.
Yes.
What else is going on? Well, the daily close, like I was saying.
No, it's cool. I already got rid of your stuff.
Yeah.
Now I need to find my stuff to bring it back on again. That's cool. It's cool. Yes, people can laugh. I'm sure they're laughing at home. But what we need to do is bring on my stuff. There we have it. And I
suspect it's a good idea if you give everybody your best attempt at serious TA, even though you're drunk. Just forget about that. Do your best attempt at serious TA. I'll keep you straight. And then when your food arrives, you won't have to eat it on stream.
Oh, because I could tune out of the stream by that point. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you might want to wait until the daily close, or you might want to tune out, but you'll have the option.
Oh, it's 25. Oh, you got 25 minutes. Isn't it lovely? As Stevie Wonder said, thank you so much for joining me, and isn't it lovely? Isn't it wonderful? So we have the Bitcoin chart here. This is a 50-minute chart. What we wanted to do what we wanted to do was go away from this chart for a while and then come back to it, and that's what's happened, ladies and gents. And we found that we were coming up FFS. It's actually hard to look at the charts when you're drunk, it turns out. Yeah, look, yeah. And hey, look, we've done well coming to where we are right now, but seriously, unless we push past it right now, then what the fuck is it? If it isn't, then it isn't, and that's just the way it is. I mean, and I'm looking to this and I'm saying, this is one of those.
If it isn't, then it's a head and shoulders.
No. In my state at the minute, this area right here, you know those movies that you watch in America where you got the kid and he turns up at the prom and he's all like,
and then at prom he consolidates its support.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The buzzer just went. That means freedom is in sight. Look, this area is that area where the guy, and he wants to ask the girl out, and they're at the prom and they're staring across each other. It's not happened yet, right? So we're waiting. And sure, we've made it into the room, and yeah, sure, some crap interpretation in the 2020s of what 1980s music is playing. It's not happened yet. I think that for the safety of the entire group, I'm going to probably have to tune out, to be perfectly honest with you. If TradeSpot comes back and picks up the mantle from where we are now, then great. If you want to blame somebody, then you can blame KDoc. We have a guy coming back in here with a Santa's belly's full worth of McDonald's, but I don't know if it's enough. Currently from where we are right now. Right. Hey, no. It's not a Bitcoin mukbang. It's actually, I think what this is me saying, cheerio. Look, it's 23:38 right now, and I really appreciate everyone. This has arrived, and this is my salvation from KDoc, okay? Yes, KDoc, I'm blaming you specifically for this. I think that you're prepared for that. Tomorrow's stream is going to be Rocky in a hoodie wearing dark shades. Do you see?
Bitcoin breaking out as you eat your
Wait, no,
burgers. Is the burgers breaking out of the burger breakout? Bitcoin burger breakout.
Okay, so I stay on. Are you saying I stay on? I'm on Bitcoin at the minute. Let me just look for it. This is a 15-minute time frame. That's good enough for everyone, right? And then let me just move it up a little. Make it full screen, sure. Why not? Is Bitcoin breaking out? You were saying. As I was saying though, I'm honestly, this is one of the male chickens. We talked about these. We know that male chickens are coming. I'm gonna have to, I have to tune out. I have to tune out. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys and trade spot.
The T8. There's always time for T8.
There is always time for T8.
To do it, right? You're gonna have to.
Catch
Right?
up?
What choice have you got at 20?
All it seems is I have
left.
vodka, wine, and peach diluting juice. Did you put ketchup? Did you tell them? You better have told those McDonald's people, KDoc, with your posh accent. We tell McDonald's what to put on, and look at this. Look, no ketchup.
Okay,
no
you're
ketchup.
gonna have to get this TA done, and then you'll be able to look
What
at the
TA am
burger.
I-
You're not allowed to put that burger in your mouth until you've done the T8. What's going to
What
happen
TA am I
if the day
doing?
closes out at 24, 29.5, what 29?
I got the 50. Do you want me
What's
to
gonna
look at
happen?
something?
I think you should look at the charts and tell us what's going to happen. You gotta give us your rundown.
For fuck's
You know,
sake.
it's going to be a good summary. It's going to take 5 minutes, and it's going to have to start round about now.
Okay, here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming in for the end of the day. Now, this day, by the way, isn't like your average day. This is the first day of 2021, and I want to say thank you and welcome to everybody for joining us to take a look at the charts during this period. As Jamie likes a thing which is very similar to a cigarette but much more relaxing. As we look here, we see there's this double top in the 50-minute chart.
But officer,
No,
I
that's
got no
bullshit.
till.
If we can move past this, what we're looking to is move past it. Look, actually, really, let's be honest, all eyes on 30k, right? It's 30k, that's what all eyes are on. If we don't get past that, then maybe we see a pullback. If we do see a pullback, we have to look out for two things. One, fake out zone, and that comes in with this line. Jimmy, can you read it, what number that says? 28,729.3. Excellent.
That'll do.
Sorry, right, cool, that's their fake out zone. If we move beyond that, then we're going down perhaps towards 28,181, and I want to see a turnaround at 27,000 down to 27,600. If that doesn't happen, I'm pissed off, because more than 10% at this stage is too much to give up. However, if we take out 29,000, I feel that this is the worst part of the episode, man. Honestly, I can't do this anymore. Do you want me to give upside targets? Because we've got them on the chart right there. Let's just real brief. 31,500, and I'm tuning out. Do we need to keep it going anymore? Because I can't, honestly. Have I done enough? TradeSpot, have I done enough?
31,500 is a fantastic target to the top side. You've certainly done enough.
Okay.
You've done more than enough, and it was a good job.
Thanks. Right.
Congratulations.
Okay, so let everybody know that I will be reading back through the live chat of this video after this video, yada yada. Really looking forward to seeing it all. If I don't eat a burger in the next 30 seconds, there's serious problems. Okay, so we've talked about Chainlink, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos, Argo, SNX, RSR, and some other coins in this episode.
Harmony won.
Harmony won, and I'm gonna say cheerio. Honestly, I see the likes of Johnny Smith putting a comment. I'm looking forward to reading that.
And that's a
I just
cheerio
need to
for
go.
me.
I just need to go just now. Okay, that's all for dig.